Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening. Tonight, we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition. Whoop, there we go. Playing through the classic Night Below campaign, written by Carl Sargent, and horribly butchered by me. With me tonight are the stars of the Night Below campaign. I'll go the order that I got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently? First up, I have Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I am playing Calidor, the Elven Fighter Thief, and I am level 5.5.
Nice. Nice. Are you level 5 in both Fighter and Thief right now?
Well, no, level 5 Thief, level 6 Fighter.
Oh, Jesus. God, you're level 6 already? Holy smokes. Next up is Arlen.
I think so.
I think you're level 4, aren't you? I think you're at 4 going on 5, because I think our Bergour was 5, and he just reached 6.
Yeah, Bergour,
No, but he has enough to go 7.
Yeah, Calidor is multiple.
One below.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Okay.
Arlen.
I'm Arlen.
Confusion reigns.
I'm playing Bergour, who is a dwarf fighter who is currently 6th level, almost ready for 7th after a little more adventuring.
Nice. Next up is Hobbs.
Hello, I am the Jason Hobbs, and I am playing the wizard, Elanion Elandin, an elven elementalist of the earthen powers of level 5.
Various. Nice. Next up is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I am playing Dorman Kettleborn, the gnome thief illusionist, and I'm currently level 5 thief, level 4 mage, ready to level up in both.
Excellent. And last but not least is our resident armor smith, Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I am playing Druin Axebrother. He is a level 4 fighter, level 5 specialty priest of Clangadin.
Nice. And Hobbs has just reminded us that he forgot to unmute himself. So, hello to everyone joining us from Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood. Well, Hobbs won't say hi to you.
Good.
I certainly
You
will
guys
say
were
hi.
good. I wasn't. You guys were good. I wasn't.
That's great. Oh, man. So, guys, we are... last session was... it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. I was going to say it's an eventful one. But you managed to make your way back to Millbourne, and what did you find waiting for you in your sort of home away from home of the town of Millbourne?
Well,
I wasn't here, so I can't do it.
Not it.
we spoke with a lot of our little NPC buddies around town.
Yep.
And we found out that Rendemus's son was dead. I can't remember his name. Dagmar. So then when we went to visit with... see, I don't know these NPCs' names. That's why I'm terrible for this. I don't know. Some little dwarven guy?
Rizzler. If
Yeah.
only there was a handout that had all of the character names. Oh, wait, hold on, there is.
Se Heist,
Yeah.
Declare.
Here you go.
Oh, is that who told us? Yeah, Samwise told us. Yeah, but you're right. It was Samwise who told us about the fact that Rendemus had killed his son himself. Murdered him was the word he used.
Indeed.
Dum dum dum.
Dump bump bomb. You also have an appointment later this afternoon with Lord Carmen as well too.
Oh yeah, I don't care about him. Caldor doesn't even know about that.
So then, guys, why don't we pick up with your conversation that you were having with Se Heist? We also had some chat on Discord about what you guys want to be doing next. But let's finish up our scene with Se Heist and then carry on with the rest of your meetings in Millbourne. So we'll assume that Bergour has just walked in, a moment ago. You walked in time to hear him talk about how Rendemus apparently murdered his son Dagmar. So let's pick it up from there, guys. Oh, and here I'll move this over to the map of Melbourne so that we can all see where we are. Because you guys are in the temple right now.
Murdered. That's a pretty strong word. Se Heist. Are you sure?
There's no mistaking what transpired. I think that you will want to speak to Rendemus, and I would not take offense if he seems reluctant to discuss it with you or standoffish. It has been a difficult couple of months for him and indeed for ourselves and Lord Carmen.
What kind of trickery is this?
The
Was there changelings involved or shape changers? They almost had us trying to kill each other.
one moment, he invites you guys a little further back in the temple. He closes the door behind you guys, and then he goes to the front. He says a prayer of some kind, pours water, a prayer over a vessel, like a what do you call it? Like a chalice, I guess. Not a chalice, like I'm trying to think, a decanter, I guess. And then takes it and pours it from the decanter into a glass, and he hands it first to you, Druin. He says, "Please." It's just water, it looks like.
Takes a sip.
Okay. And then he repeats the same thing with each of you guys. Does anyone not drink? Nope.
Do we notice this guy being different than he has in the past?
You've interacted with him on a very limited basis. For Druin
that's what I
and
was
Shale.
just thinking. Elanion is an abrupt person, and he has a negative modifier. And before he drinks, he'll look over to Druin and say, "You know this priest, Druin. Has he been acting strangely?"
Druin looks over at Se Heist. Kind of eyes him. Not that I could see. Not that I could tell.
In these instances, priest, we can never be too safe. And he'll down the liquid.
Okay. Carries on to Bergour and Calidor and Dorman as well.
I drink the bugbear's weird fishy stuff. I'll drink this.
Dorman just gives it a weird look and then
It tastes like anything, Kev, or just...
No, it just tastes like clear, clean water. But after he finishes, he places things down, and he turns to you, Druin, and says, "What is your name?"
Druin, and then he rattles off some dwarven family name, because Axebrother is a title that he goes by.
Okay.
Family.
So this is Kev asking, is that the truth?
Yes.
Okay. He turns to you, Dorman. What is your name?
Dorman Kettleborn. We've met before.
And this is Kev asking again, is that the truth?
Yeah, Dorman doesn't lie.
Okay. He asks the same of each of you guys. He asks you your name. You provide the names you have. Is anyone lying about their name?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So then after he places the glass down, he says, "Very well. You are who you say you are, all of you." And he takes a moment, pours himself a little glass, drinks from the chalice. "I am Se Heist of St. Cuthbert. You faced creatures several months ago who could wear the faces of others. Yes?
We did.
And I've heard from Geralt that you thought such things were disguising themselves as Daranar deeds.
Yes.
He was some sort of weird monster, we think.
In your absence, whether looking for you or looking to reestablish themselves here, they returned. And Rendemus, it seems that Dagmire was one of those replaced. We, to this day, don't know what has become of Dagmire or when the switch occurred, but Rendemus noticed that he was off, and when confronted, the creature tried to kill him. Fortunately, Rendemus was more powerful. And we still have no inkling as to where this thing came from, what their goal was, but it is deeply troubling that they could so easily replace a key member of our community.
It is troubling.
So Rendemus knows that he didn't kill his son, but he knows that his son is essentially been
he knows,
or perhaps kidnapped, or
indeed, he knows that it was not his son, but it was his son's face that he had to beat to death. This creature sprung on him when it was a very difficult
I can imagine.
yes. And having to do that to one, even an imposter, one wearing a flawless guise of a loved one, he has, and as the watch, you can imagine, he feels a semblance of guilt from what he feels allowing this to happen to his son. You didn't encounter any more of these things when you were traveling?
Not that I recall.
None of the creatures you defeated, or you slew, none of them reverted to that same shape?
If I had to guess, I'd say they probably like cities where they can, or towns at least, where they can take false appearances. The wilderness probably isn't their jam so much.
Do you think this is the same adversary? That this is all one...
The Scarlet Brotherhood.
If the Scarlet Brotherhood are in league with the kidnappings here, their reach is much further than what we had expected. I will need to send word to the Ecclesiastic Council in Threshold. I'm sorry to have been the bearer of such unfortunate news, but I appreciate your trust in me that, and he gestures to the urn or the decanter, that what I was offering was a way, was for our collective safety.
You've been nothing but trustworthy since I've met you. I have no reason to doubt.
Such as the cudgel teaches. And he touches the holy symbol, the starburst of rubies on a silver star, or silver cross that he has.
As does the Father of Battle.
And he nods. So, Is there anything else you guys wish to talk to Se Heist about?
How would you send notice to Threshold?
We would have to wait until either someone is bound for that direction and hope that the package would reach Threshold in time, or the roads are very treacherous at this time, so I would not think to hire anyone to try to make the attempt.
Isn't there a collection of your clergy? Is it Eastdale?
In Eastdale, there are. Middenmark has. There are many across the settlements in Middenmark that have that are true to the Church of St. Cuthbert. I'm just bringing us over here, guys. Kirkleson, Ravenspass, all. Why? Why do you ask, Druin?
Just curious. I was trying to think if you got word at least to Eastdale, perhaps someone could take it the rest of the way. But
they could. The challenge being, of course, is reaching Eastdale. In order to reach Eastdale, we must take the either cross the High Moor, which in the winter will be rife with hungry trolls, or we make the long way around the Blanride Hills and hope that it reaches there before the spring.
Well, we'll keep our ears open for folks heading northeast.
Indeed. Then, if there's nothing else you guys wish to discuss with him, then we can transition out. You'll have another, we'll say like maybe an hour or two before you have your meeting with Lord Carmen. Do you guys have any other things you want to get done in town, or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then we'll cut to when you guys are actually meeting at Lord Carmen's residence. So let's remind ourselves what
Who's
Lord...
going to talk to the old bugger? Better not be me.
Dorman looks to Arlen, or to Bergour.
Bergour and Caldor, didn't you guys spit on his guards last time?
I didn't do any spitting.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I did. Man.
I think Bergour's got the prettiest face out of all of us right now. He's like scratched at his scars.
You're not missing an eye. He's just got one looking in one way and one looking another way because of that brain injury. But
Not that got healed.
it did heal. All right, so then, guys, you guys arrive at the Carmen residence again. Of course, it's the nicest place in town. Once again, the kind of manservant answers the door, and as soon as he sees Caldor, there's immediately kind of it's as if he bit into something that doesn't taste well, and he says, "Please," and Druin comes in and refuses to stomp his boots off. The manservant makes you wait. There are guards present again, the same number of guards that were well, no, there won't be at first, but it seems that he calls more guards in, and then you guys are let into Lord Carmen's study, and where you find him, the study is the same as it is before, and as a refresher, it's got a sitting area, but everything looks, while it does look like at one point it was quite nice, it's quite well lived in. You know, like the divan, the seats and such, the chairs, those are all very worn, as if, you know, rough-handed people made use of them. He's still behind that big sturdy desk of his that looks like it's been, you know, stained and by countless generations of Carmens keeping track of their wealth. And there is the whole wall of books as well, too. the ledgers for the Carmen mines over the centuries. And he is now sitting with his hands crossed, and you have his full attention. And as you walk in, he waits for you all to be let in, and then the door closes behind you guys, and leaving 4 of the guards inside, as well as the manservant. And Carmen just says, "I thought you dead."
Lucky for us, it's not the case.
Lucky for me as well. When we left, you were tasked with a mission. I hear that you returned with a great deal of proof of your success.
We have the spoils of war from a significant null threat that has been dealt with.
Then I owe you my thanks. And otherwise. And he looks over at the manservant, kind of nods. Manservant goes over to a drawer and kind of he pulls it out. And I think there were 8 of you, right? So there'll be 1,200 gold pieces, I think, for 150 each. So he brings the thing out and boom, he says, Tell me what it is that you faced. Were you on campaign all this time?
Essentially, yes. Took us a couple days to get there and back, but it's been pretty much constant assaults on the gnolls, aside from that.
How many?
More than 100, less than 150.
More than 100, you say?
2 dozen
Yes.
bugbears.
What were they doing there? There's nothing in those hills.
Not
Readying-
entirely clear to us. There seems to be, well, something is happening that seems to be influencing humanoids. We also ran into some bugbears.
Yes.
And
Those things, I know that they lurk in there.
Yeah.
Those that aren't welcome in the Great Rock Dale are said to lurk in the southern regions there. They squabble with the orcs. Actually, there aren't, to his knowledge, there's no orcs, so he wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
They
Well, there's been a series of eerie coincidences with regard to humanoids.
coincidences.
Some type of fishy smell and a potion of fishiness. One of our party, well, Calidor here, ingested it, not entirely of his own volition, and had wicked dreams. The bugbears seem to be ingesting it all the time, and as far as we can tell, there seems to be perhaps a larger conspiracy afoot in
What do you mean, dreams?
Well, Calidor, do you want to explain what happened to you?
As he said, nightmares.
So, you hallucinated.
Is that what you call your dreams?
Those brought on by concoctions, yes. And you say these bugbear, they were drugged as well?
They were ingesting remarkable quantities of this potion, even for them.
Help me understand. A bunch of addict bugbears, those with a taste for lotus, why would that be a concern?
Rumor is they all answer to an elder god.
So, just out of
Drawn
character,
to him.
you haven't mentioned the mind control stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with talking about the orcs in the Thornwood Forest and how we smelled this thing on them too, and it's
Okay.
definitely the same smell.
Okay.
And then
And the
when we were
kobolds.
down in Heathertop, we had the same sort of this weird smell with the bugbear and the goblins. And then end on the point about Calidor when he awoke was not himself and had to be restrained because he attempted to attempted to beat down Elanion basically and then steal him off, just like the bugbears were doing.
Why did he attack? Did the concoction just drive him to violence, or?
As best we can tell, Calidor can speak to his particular experience, but his recollection is that it transformed his desires, made it necessary to his mind to do these things against us, his own party.
And it was the will of the bugbears.
The will of whatever is... Well, we believe that the bugbear's will is subsumed into this thing, whatever it is.
What
as
thing?
well.
What thing do you mean?
Well,
There's
Calidor in his
Dune.
dream, there were tentacles. And
The
I don't-
the eye.
I
so
don't know
the,
if he actually listened. Did you listen to the last episode, Arlen?
I did not listen to the last episode.
No, he
So
doesn't.
You don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I did, and that's why he was saying Theris Dune is what we think.
And he looks. He says, "What is Thera's doom?"
Chained one, an elder god.
Another god. They worship him. This is some cult?
A geish, perhaps.
So it's a religious drive. And
Perhaps.
these gnolls, they were part of this?
Hard to
Possibly.
tell exactly.
Well,
Our suspicion is that the gnolls were a part of this.
well, then if you have driven off a gnoll army that would have been bound for my lands, then I have a great deal to thank for. Yeah, actually, you are. All it means is it prevents you from.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying suspicion and our idea, and not actually telling him for certain that it's that way.
Yeah, it's a good point. You guys actually are. So you wouldn't. If you try and lie, your words will come out as gibberish.
Yeah. I figured True Serum doesn't make you tell the truth; it just makes you not lie, right?
Yeah, or at least this particular
This one
whatever the
does.
blessing that you guys are subject to. So he looks concerned. He says, "Then these bugbears, the gnolls, will they be further threat to our lands?"
These ones know, but there always seem to be more humanoids out there.
The orcs. You said there were orcs in the Thornwood.
Yeah, months ago, we went with Kuiper and found the...
Geralt told me a new tribe. I thought that they were just troublemakers who thought orcs have a thing with wolves, and the Thornwood is rife with them. But you say they've gone in there. What are they doing in there? Breeding?
The orcs in the Thornwood?
Yes, if
I
they're
don't think
part
we
of.
have any knowledge about that, unfortunately. Beyond the handful that we killed, we didn't see anymore.
Then. Then it seems then that for the winter at least, we'll have some peace. Here, he gestures and they open up his manservant opens up the crate, and what you find is that he has actually paid you guys 200 a head.
That's pretty nice of him.
He nods and says the it's a great service that you did or that you provided for me and for my subjects. Will you winter here?
We are working on figuring that out. Some of us need, well, Elanion here, you know how wizards are, always in need of new spell books. Seems to think that Threshold is the best place to get one.
Threshold does have, though, from when I was there last, they were still recovering from the war from 3 years ago, the war against the giants. The Diviners Guild has certainly recovered. How will you get there? Then
cut our way through anything in our path as we go up through the moor, probably.
I've heard tell that several adventuring groups, several mercenaries traveling to and from Eastdale made that voyage. I can't say that I know how many were successful, but you have all proven yourselves quite capable. I'm certain that if you are able to deal with an army of beastmen, you certainly will be able to handle whatever you may find in the high moor. I won't keep any more of your time then. Thank you. And he gets up and he makes a point of shaking each of your hands. And then he says, I hope that fate will bring us together again. Until then, I wish you best.
Bergour sort of pop off a salute.
Okay. And then you guys leave. Unless there's anything else you want to bring up with Lord Carmen, then Druin looks like he is scowling the bejesus out of everything at the back.
He shakes his hand. He's like, are we going to ask about Rendemus?
And he says, You've not heard.
We've heard
a little.
He looks over at the manservant, and the manservant sort of like immediately turns and ushers the guards out. So the doors open, the guards are ushered outside. The door closes. The manservant waits at the door, seemingly listening to make sure that they've all left, then turns back to Lord Carmen and nods. Lord Carmen nods and looks back and says, I hear you've seen Se Heist.
We have. And it's unfortunate that Darren Deeds and escaped our clutches when we had a chance to put him down, but unfortunately that's, well, perhaps that's what led to Rendemus and his son, I guess.
If I had the fortune to speak to a Knight of the Watch who came through from Kioland, and while their kind, the Kiolandish, certainly have their way. He was quite open with the perceived threat that he saw. Word had reached him, and his order of the pamphlets that you had sent. I made, when you had brought this to me in the summer, I had sent word to my fellow lords in the region. It seems that the word has spread. Whether this brotherhood had made any inroads, or there were any sign of them in their lands. As you know, the Knights of the Watch are sworn protectors of Kioland and of Jeff and Steric and the kingdoms that they once claimed, including our lands. This Knight of the Watch and his companions were in search of members of the Brotherhood, hunting them inland. And from what he said, it is not unexpected to find those face changers among their numbers.
How are you dealing with that in town?
For now,
Sam might have had some kind of a decanter that he blessed, but
a gift brought to him by one of his order, one who came about another problem. The difficulty or the disappearances of wizards, priests, and other sorcerers that you mentioned when we met last. It seems that it's a concern in Middenmark as well as in these lands. Se Heist advised me that he thinks a inquisition will be called. I respect Se Heist, and I worship and give thanks to St. Cuthbert, the Cudgel. But I would not have those fanatics on my lands. We've not had such a thing in our lands, but I've heard tell of what can happen when that sort of zealous crusade can be allowed to run amok.
who locally is investigating? Is it the Rangers or is it Rendemus?
To avoid a panic, we have kept the number that know the truth to a very small group. Myself, my manservant, Se Heist, because he would have to perform the rituals. Rendemus, obviously, and Geralt, who found Rendemus after.
Okay.
We have... Please, go ahead.
One of the things that these bugbears who smelled of fishiness and were consuming this potion did was that they attempted to steal our casters and seemed like they were planning on killing the rest of them.
The bugbears wanted the priests and...
The bugbears wanted everyone that they knew could cast spells and didn't care about anyone else.
Do you know why?
No.
This is what they've heard. This is what Se Heist, his brother, he had also reported that this is what they've seen in other regions, in Middenmark and to the west, or I'm sorry, to the east.
We found a holy symbol of a priest of Arlen. There's not, a church nearby, but there was a wandering priest that was missing, so that makes it sound like that's the one, perhaps. It would seem, anyways. And there were spell books as well.
Well, and spell books, and obviously Jeleneth from months ago now.
I thought she had been consumed by, or eaten by the goblins.
Well, that's what we thought, but the goblins had the fishy smell to them too.
Only the bugbear did.
Okay. There was concern about the possibility that the bugbear who was leading those goblins may have done something else with
You did definitely find, remember in the bugbear's quarters, you found a whole case of that fishy whatever potion.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at, is that we didn't know for certain that right? We couldn't exactly identify parts or anything like that.
Yeah. No, and there's I mean the goblins also. I mean there was another something that was at the very least influencing dogs there too, right? And that thing seemed to be Malfeshnikor seemed equal parts goblin and horrific hound too, right? So.
So we do know that bugbear was traveling back and forth, or at least leaving. They mentioned it, so it's possible that she was taken to the Great Rock Dale by him and not killed by the goblins. We don't really know.
And you said the orcs stank of this same odor.
Yep.
Then what are they doing in the Thorns Wood? There's nothing in there. It's untouched wood.
Maybe there is something in there.
Didn't one of us see a tower in there or something? That's a side.
That was one of the Aarakocra told you that they saw something when they flew over there, but once they realized there were living things there, they left it because they didn't want to draw attention. Wait, you say there is a structure in there? Mm-hmm. The only other, in a time of men, since the fall of whatever peoples lived in what's now the Great Rock Dale, if those stories are to be believed, it's been nomads. It wasn't until my ancestors and those of Palfrey, they had laid down stone for Palfrey for his keep, and my ancestors laying shafts for the mines in the Blandride Hills. Though
there's evidence, though, that there are older folk that have lived in this area.
You mean like that temple?
Yep.
Do you think there's something similar in the woods then?
Possibly. Only one way to know for sure. You may have to hire an expedition into the Thornwood.
That will have to wait for spring. To set forth in there now is to invite starvation and death.
Kev?
Yep.
When Se Heist was telling us about Thera's Doom, did it sound like this is a secret or a connection that do we think that would be something he would share with Lord Carmen? Since
it may be something that he has shared. If he shared with you guys, he may have shared it, or it's likely he shared it with him as well. Remember when you guys went to him and asked him how he felt about Carmen to judge his character? He said he had never had any reason to question his his honor or whatever. So probably, yeah.
So Druin's thinking if he hasn't told him now, he'll tell him later. So,
okay. Yeah, have you mentioned that the go ahead, Dave.
Se Heist, when we were telling him about the casters and the hallucinations, as you call them, that our fellows had experienced, and he mentioned this Thera's Doom, elder god that's been in.
Yes, he called it the Elder Eye.
The Elder Eye. He's some kind of ancient god who's been imprisoned by his siblings, essentially. But he also mentioned to us that perhaps taking the casters, the ability to tap into either a divine or the magical weave, that perhaps they could use them to unlock this Elder Eye. unimprison him, and that would be bad for all life on.
Indeed, but I'll tell you, such things, they boggle the mind. Forgive me, but I'm a simple man. My family does not lack for wealth or for money. My forefathers saw to that, and I intend to see for that through to my children and their children's children. But we're minors. We are not theologians, we're not priests, we're not oracles. A chained god? What I understand is the kidnappings. If you tell me that these things are behind the kidnappings, and you think that these orcs may be in league with it, and somehow hiding in the Thornwood. Do you know... I've heard tell of those camping on the river between Thurmaster and Melbourne, and some of the farmers along the banks. Geralt brought word through his brotherhood that there are some who have seen things scuttling along the southern shores of the river, near the Hogbrook. We had two... Normally we tell the... or not tell, but the merchants know to not camp on the on the southern shore. Wolves and other things will come out of the Thornwood. It's unsafe. The farmers on the southern side, to the west of the Hog Brook, they've been saying strange creatures have been afoot, and tracks that don't seem to accord with anything seen in that region previously. Large, and from what I hear, reptilian. Do you know if orcs truck with such things?
Did we see a dragon in this game?
Dorman saw something.
I saw something flying off to the...
Getting my dragons mixed up.
Wait, you expecting there to be dragons in a Dungeons and Dragons game? Come on, Dave. Jeez.
Definitely dragon-like.
This is Dungeons and Dragons? I thought it was furnished caves and
the dungeons come free. You got to pay extra for the dragons.
Yeah, we were camped over here, and I saw something flying that way.
We don't know. The orcs that we saw were walking, so...
Strange. Bergour, and Druin, both of you guys, why don't you give me just a raw intelligence check, please? Let's see here. Druin, not Bergour. Druin, you know, what you've heard, Druin, is that at least this is what you've, you know, what you've heard from some of the, like, the deep fighters, the ones who deal with the the deep dwelling orcs. Some of those are said to apparently have they apparently ride large lizards.
Okay, so I'll backtrack a little bit. The orcs that we fought were on foot, but that's not to say they don't have. They're well known to ride lizards in the deep, so.
Lizard, then that is particularly troubling then, is it not?
Indeed.
Such things?
Is that between here and Thurmaster? Along the river?
It is.
We might be heading that way.
You are.
Some of our... I'm reading Hobbs' notes. Some of our wizards need to train in Thurmaster.
Indeed. Then, sorry, I was finishing one thing here, guys. Sorry. Forgot something that I need to do. Boom. Okay. If you were headed to Thurmaster, then perhaps you could keep watch, or perhaps inspect there. If there's signs of these things so close to the edge, what do you propose? This is... I know when I am out of my depth, and that is where I find myself. Gnoll armies, orcs, kidnapping, and in league with bugbears. These are troubles.
No army is nearly decimated. There may be a handful left, but not enough to cause a problem.
Indeed.
Same with the bugbears. We not only killed most of them, we also killed their leaders. So.
Then what of the orcs? What should be done of them? Elanion,
We only saw a scouting party.
Then what do you think? This structure in there. Are there other beings living in the Thornwood? Is it more of those gnolls?
Yeah, we don't know. We do want to go to Thurmaster, and some of us need to train, and also let Towser know of the danger to the spellcasters.
If you wish to go to Thurmaster, you should not tarry. The river, the Churnet will freeze in a matter of weeks.
We could also stop on the way and talk to Kuiper for, an afternoon or something, see if he has any information about what's going on, kind of closer to the source. Or if he has anything he needs us to take care of.
Indeed. Then...
Because he's like right around here, isn't he?
Yep, he's just to the west of Hogbrook.
Okay.
Just so he's not. Yeah, his farm is right around where the Great Rock Dale is, because he wants to sort of keep watch of as close as he can to there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what he will leave it with is that Lord Carmen will ask that you advise him what you propose, and if you're heading there, or he will, if you're leaving tomorrow, he may ask you to deliver a message to Lord Palfrey then, but ensure that it's only delivered to him.
How will we know if it's Lord Palfrey?
One has to only hope. If he has been replaced, there's very little that I imagine he will not help. There's very little he can do to hinder us, but...
Perhaps you could come up with a question that only Palfrey would know of the answer, that we could use to
sadly,
that delivering the message to him. No.
If I knew him I am not a sociable man. And Palfrey.
June tries not to laugh.
Palfrey, do you know much about my neighboring lord?
No.
Do you know that he went through 5 wives in search of an heir? Palfrey is fast approaching his 80th winter. And it took until his 5th wife for his son and sole heir to be born. And the effort of giving birth to that lad killed his mother. His kind think themselves above mine, if you take my meaning. There are some traditions of Caoland which we in the yeomanry left behind, though there are some who still cling to the trappings of that former life. Then
I'd like to speak to Rendemus, and then perhaps we'll make our plans.
very well. I'll have my message ready for tomorrow. Perhaps 50 gold for your troubles to deliver it all into Lord Palfrey's hand.
Seems fair.
Then, and he gestures to the door, I will not keep you. You have much to prepare. And if there's anything else you guys want to ask him. Sorry, you saw a lot in there that you were typing in there, Hobbs. Do you have anything you wanted to bring up? And you're muted.
Son of a biscuit.
Yeah. Hobbs, we still can't hear you, bud.
I know. That's what I've been saying.
Oh, okay.
I muted while I was eating some graham crackers, Joe. I don't really know what to bring up to him. I think I was just mumbling to all these guys things to think about.
Okay. Then, if there's nothing else you guys wish to bring up with him, you guys will head out to the snowy streets of Milbourne. So, guys, what else do you wish to get done here?
John, did you put anything in the party notes about getting 200 gold each?
I'm adding it now.
Okay. So, how much gold are you guys each sitting on right now?
Let's check.
I could
Okay.
play in a second.
So we got about 225 in a share of loot from the Knolls, 200 from Carmen, and then we had like 1,000 each in a share from the Bugbears. But that's not all gold pieces. A lot of that is copper and silver and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
And then
I'm-
I had banked some with Rendemus that I'm probably not going to ask back because that seems kind of shitty to do after he lost his son.
I think it won't be a problem for him.
Well, or
Yeah.
rather, I think what I'm going to tell him is that he should spend it on the community and do his best to, shore up the defenses here with that resource because
Sure.
he needs it more than I do at this point.
Okay.
I'm not going to say he needs it more than I do because that sounds shitty
Yeah.
to say after he's lost his son, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely. You know what, then? Why don't you go ahead and take 300 gold, 300 XP?
Sounds good.
I'll give you the XP for that instead.
Damn it, Kev, I was thinking the same thing. Now I feel like an XP grabber.
No trouble at all, Dave. If that's what you want to do, split 150 between each of your classes.
Yeah, after Bergour starts talking about what I'm assuming he's just talking to Druin about it or something.
Yeah.
On the way over.
Before we go
Druin's
to
like,
Rendemus, it seems like we should have a game plan and
Yeah,
one thing
he's,
saying that he should,
he's- he's definitely in a tough spot. I agree with what you're saying. That's let him keep the gold. And I don't know if there's any way we can help him in the short term, but I wouldn't mind lopping off some heads of some changeling.
So Rendemus he stays, I believe, at a house outside of, just on the outskirts of town there. So you can find him there. Or you know what, you probably run into him sort of making his way from building to building. He's still sort of shuffling around, you know. You maybe bump into him leaving the Baron. And he looks up at all of you, and there's a brief bit of, like, you know, surprise when he sees you all back. And then there's a bit of a faint kind of grin that comes to his face, and he says, I heard you were back in town. I take it you've gone to see Lord Carmen, then? He looks down at the chest you guys are carrying.
Yep.
Yes,
well,
we've seen him. And we've spoken to Se Heist as well.
Hi, sweetie. You've spoken to Se Heist and Lord Carmen. That
We have.
I see. Then, and he swallows hard. You've heard of Dagmar.
We have.
Our condolences, and in some way, I feel like it's also perhaps part of our burden for allowing the changeling to escape.
Whether the one that returned was the same or different, it makes no difference. Do you...
Would you like to speak in private? Druin looks around. People could be passing by.
Yeah, it's so cold out. No one's, you know, anyone who is outside, it's like rushing from one place to another.
Okay.
It's just kind of like, you know, Winnipeg winter running from the house to the car kind of situation. So like even though you're effectively like right outside the Baron, you're about as lone as you could be. The wind is coming in. The snow is still blowing through the streets. They don't really plow here, you know, so there's like tromped trails that go from one building to another.
So again, like Winnipeg.
Again, like Winnipeg, yeah. Very true. For those listening at home, myself and Dave, and well, Jeff is not from Winnipeg, but from a town outside of Winnipeg. We're all from the same place in Manitoba. So, coldest capital city on the planet. What he says is, do you know what those things do with those they duplicate?
We don't.
Nothing necessarily. They duplicated Calador when we fought them.
Druin.
They duplicated Druin when we fought them.
They duplicated me, and I was still running around. So there was two of me at the same time.
Then, and I know this is a foolish hope, but my boy may still live. And he looks at you guys with a pleading look in his eyes.
I believe it would be possible.
It's certainly possible. If we have any leads on where they might be stationed, hiding.
You can see his knuckles, or the leather in his gloves, kind of creaks as he, you know, tenses up. He says, I don't even know when he was replaced. I cannot point to a time when it was no longer my dag.
And how did you find out he wasn't Dagmar?
And there's you can see his jaw shifts and like muscles in his jaw kind of twitch. He doesn't make eye contact with any of you, and you recall what Se Heist had said, that it was a particularly brutal thing. So if someone wants to prevent him from telling it, I am certain.
Yeah, I don't want him to tell, I just want to know what led to him doubting his son. I don't want to have him relive the whole thing.
No, I don't think.
They're probably connected.
Apologize for gnome friend. I think we've heard. We know enough of this story. No need for you to retell it.
And you can see the breath is, forming out in a long, billowing bit of condensation. Are you staying then in town?
Not for long.
Where are you headed?
Thurmaster and Parlfrey's Keep. At least for now.
Winter in the castle walls. Not a bad decision. Well, and he shakes shakes your hand, Bergour. I won't keep you in this weather any longer. If Caldor,
the training gold that I fronted you, I think you should use that to bolster the town's defenses. Whatever's coming, it's not going to be pretty.
You were
You're
to
not
deal with the null threat that you were to deal with. That has been that is coming.
No, but there's. Well,
I understand.
Carmen will probably have a suggestion or two for you in terms of. We spent a while talking with him about the growing threats in the region.
Se Heist had mentioned that his people are thinking of doing something about this. I think if any could see through these deceptions, it may be those who wield the cudgel. No?
Maybe.
Perhaps.
You can see, and I'm not sure if you've noticed it before, or whether you've not noticed it before, but he does have a symbol of St. Cuthbert hanging around his neck right now. Then, please, and he gestures into the town, into the Baron. I won't keep you from your meal and your beer. And he turns and he makes his way off, his head kind of down, slouched under the heavy furs that are wrapped around him. And you can see he kind of stomps directly towards the temple, if you keep an eye out. Stomps only because of the snow, not because of any kind of mood, necessarily. So you guys head into the, into the Baron. Now,
And to be clear for John, my understanding was that Dagmar attacked Rindemus, and Rindemus fought him and killed him in the defense, right? That Rindemus didn't suspect anything about Dagmar before that point.
I was just wondering what activity Dagmar was doing that caused Rindemus to attack.
That's what he's saying. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, Rindemus didn't know anything. Dagmar's the son. Rindemus is the dad. Dagmar attacked Rindemus.
In the
Essentially
middle
out
of
of
the night or
the
something.
Okay, I had it backwards then.
Yeah.
The hell?
Okay. So, you guys,
There had to have been something that caused it to happen.
well, what do you think it would mean for the likelihood of, this is just, what do you think the likelihood of Dagmar still being alive is then?
Limited, because they tried to kill us too. That's what they were going to do, is take our shapes, I think. But
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he's being used as like a slave or labor.
Thing is,
These things.
Guys,
no.
think hard. Was there ever any point in that fight with the
on the farm,
doppelgangers, yeah, where you guys did not have clear line of sight to each other? Say, hidden in a house, hidden in a cornfield.
of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was sort of the problem the whole time,
Mhm.
right? Is that we lost line of sight as
Mhm.
we.
I think what he's saying is that Dorman is a doppelganger.
It was hanging out with Darren Ardeeds a lot.
Hey, I
So.
think it's like all you guys did. So go down.
He also seems to insist on never contributing to any fight. I'm kidding, John. I'm kidding, John.
I think I don't really believe that that Dagmar survived, but do we think there was just one doppelganger that came back? Do we think that was actually the guy who was in Darren Deeds, or were there more, or would there be a way to figure it out? That's what I was leaning towards, not just
Might
because.
have been because Brandemis was the reason we were looking into the thieves in the first place, for the smuggling. So there might have been a way to get back at him.
Yep, the fighters, that was something they did to get a discount on their training, was for Rendemis to go after, or to send people to expose.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So it might have just been personal.
Well, or in terms of what kind of spurred it on, seems more than likely that the Dagmar clone was making an opening for a Rendemis clone,
Mhm.
Which would mean there's likely another one.
which would mean that there's probably somebody else or someone hiding out or something like that. At least in Milborn, maybe more.
Wouldn't you think that the shape changer might have gone back to his old room under a different guise?
What was that, John? Sorry, I didn't quite...
Do you think the shape changer could have gone back to his room in the other tavern under a different guise and might be hiding out there again? It'd be really stupid, but
I don't know. Sounds like something for an annoying little thiefly type to find out.
How long ago was this? A month?
This would have been...
It's been like 3 months because it was before we trained, and then the 2 months of
Yeah, the...
out in the wild.
Hold on, yeah, it's
No,
way
or
back.
do you mean that Rendemis killed Dagmar?
How long ago did Rendemis kill Dagmar?
Weeks.
Oh, yeah, it was just a few weeks.
Yeah, a week, a month.
So as you guys are sort of thinking this over as you walk in, and what you see sitting in the common room, talking to old Grizzler, is
Kuiper.
not Kuiper. Kuiper is a little further away, but Geralt.
Oh yeah, Geralt.
I like Geralt.
Geralt, the lame what do you call ranger, and he looks up as you guys come in, and he smiles and says, "I'm a little hurt that you didn't come and say hello, but welcome back."
Well, we're making the rounds. Good to see you, Geralt.
Good to see you as well. And he shakes your hands. He says, "Would you like to have a drink down here then?"
I think some drinking would do us all good.
Excellent. So he... 1 second here. 1, 2, 4. There we go. I'm getting the entire. Our calendar is 7 pages long now. It's awesome. So when you dealt with the doppelgangers, last was Carmen. That was like back in Good Month, which would have been like 3 months ago.
Yeah, like 3.5 months, because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was training and then a week in Harleton and then 2 months out in the wilderness.
Yeah, yeah. So it's quite some time ago. Is that even before your? Let's see here. So it was after Heathertop Warren. Oh, that only took a couple of days, actually. Yeah, so I think it's the 13th or so of Good Month, which would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 months ago. Yikes. So Geralt first says, so I heard from our friend that you were successful, that you kept our flying friends safe.
Best as we could.
And she asked me to... She had a little something that a friend prepared that she had brought for you. Now, it may smell a bit off, and he kind of brings up this little satchel and puts it down. But I assure you they're quite effective. And what they are is they're small little kind of like little bundles, I guess. And when you open them up, you can see that there is some kind of like dried or crispy looking like greenish I don't know, vegetation of some kind. And he says this will ease your wounds. And let's see here. Anyone have... Dorman, do you have spellcraft? Do you have training in spellcraft? Or Elanion? Elanion, do you have herbalism?
Looking.
Working.
I do have hunting.
If you're going to say one of those one-word things, you got to use, like, 50s robot voice.
I do have
Working.
spellcraft.
Spellcraft. Okay, so you look at these things, and holy smokes, like, this looks like... This is some kind of, like, magic-infused seaweed. It's clearly been baked or dried or something like that, or maybe even deep-fried. Oh, actually, yeah, this would for sure play into it. So it's for sure, it's seaweed. It's deep-fried seaweed of some kind in a little container. You can just crush it and kind of eat it. And what they otherwise, there's 10 of them, and they otherwise function like a healing potion.
Dorman scratches his chin and looks at it and is like, I haven't seen this kind of delicacy since I gave a handout on some ships on the coast.
I suspect that if those sailors that you knew had friends off the coast, they may be similar to the friends that our mutual friend makes, if you take my meaning.
I may.
I understand that Serene showed you something of herself as well.
Well, out of character, I was looking up on it, and I think I figured out what kit she has, but I'm going to keep it a secret.
Oh, she may have a kit. I honestly... it's actually a creature. Originally from Monster Manual 2.
Never mind then. But yeah, there's actually a kit that lets you change into, like, flying animals.
Mm.
It's
Not
kind
bad.
of like a ranger kit. So
I know.
Pretty
She has, so she's offered the thanks and just so I heard the fighting was quite bad as well.
well, many of us almost died repeatedly. Yeah.
But none of you fell.
No. Nope.
Not permanently.
And I hear that you found you found yourself an elf as well.
Another one.
All sorts of strange things in those hills.
No doubt. So she has also brought me up to speed with what you found as well. I take it you've spoken to Se Heist, to Lord Carmen.
Enter Endemis.
Yes. His face kind of goes quite serious. I understand you're leaving. You're not staying?
We have some business in Thurmaster, and Carmen hired us to go to Parfrey's Keep and deliver a message too, so we got to deal with that before the churn freezes over.
He's not a member of our order, but I have a friend in Parfrey's Keep. The Master of Hounds? His name is Tylar. If you mention my name, I expect you will find at least one helpful face at that place. Though the people of Parfrey's Keep, and Lord Parfrey and his people, they may be a bit full of themselves for a yeomanlander, but they mean no. I think they mean well for their people. And this will mean that you will see the half-cut hills, Druin, too.
Ah. Now we're talking.
Have you heard the legends?
No.
From what I've heard from old Grizzler, more times than I can count the story. Druin, give me a religion check. Let's see if you actually have heard of this. Yeah. So this may have been one of the reasons why you were interested in coming here in the first place, but the half-cut hills, it said that they are shaped the way they are because in the dawn of time, Clangadin took his axes and smote them, cutting them into the shapes that they are now. Bergour, I think you'd said at the outset of the campaign you'd been here before. You may have seen these before too, and they are quite. It is. It looks like, imagine if you took a titanic axe and cleaved the top off of a round mountain, leaving just a peak. That's what the half-cut hills look like.
Pretty wild.
Cool.
Then, if you seek to, you guys can enjoy a couple of drinks with him. Do you have anything you want to talk to him about? He's otherwise just going to chit-chat with you.
Any more word from the Kuiper and activity in the Thornwood?
Yes, there's been farmers on the southern shore have claimed to see things riding giant beasts of some kind. Wolves, maybe, at night. Though Kuiper has investigated, and what he's found is large tracks of some strange kind of lizard. Something we've not seen in there before. There are some that make use of that, of such things crawling up from the earth into the Great Rock Dale. But in there, what are you asking, Elanion?
Ask him if he knows of any man-made structures in the wood. Perhaps on the west side.
I know of nothing, though I know that the Druid of the Woods, before the Wild Girl, before she took over, Oleana, there was a dark heart that he would not describe, but refused to go to. I don't know I had a dwarven friend who had occasion to visit Palfrey's Keep. And Palfrey's people, I know, claim to have lived in these lands for going on 8 centuries, which, as far as our people go, is a respectable length of time. But as far as gestures to you, Elanion, your people, or gestures to you, Bergour, your people, not nearly as long. But what this dwarven friend told me is that the walls of Palfrey's Keep are not that old. He felt they were no older than what his grandfather might be. So if Palfrey's people have been here, and there's long history, the legends of what Palfrey's ancestors did, taking arms up against the necromancer of the Hardlow Woods. Let's move over to the map here. Tales, of course, of what his ancestors did, but curious that their ancestral keep is no older than 300 or so years. And we don't know where their former ancestral home is. Palfrey certainly is not eager to discuss that. And no one here is particularly of interest in it.
Interesting.
Then, apart from the structure, I don't know. The orcs, I assume, have come from, if not the Great Rock Dale, perhaps from some fissure from underground. They seem to spew up like worms after a rain, disgorged from the earth, as it were. Do you know of anything? Serene mentioned a structure in there, but I know of no structure. Though, before you brought word, I knew of no elven structure in the Patchwork Hills either. So, anything else you want to talk to him about?
Is there a way to reach the wild girl in the Thornwood? Oleana, you called her.
Oleana, from what Kuiper told me, you did meet her as well, or some of you did, when you helped Kuiper with that boy, the moon-touched boy. Oleana, as was the case with her predecessor, it may be easier for her to find you in the woods than for you to find her. Though in this weather, I would not, even, and he looks down at his bad leg, even if I had use of both limbs, I would hesitate before going into the Thornwood in the winter. Anything else you guys want to talk to him about?
Is that covered for y'all?
Okay. So then, next, if there's nothing else you guys wish to do, you can enjoy your evening with Kuiper, or with Geralt. And let's talk about what you're going to do next. I know that you guys want to go to Thurmaster and then to the Palfrey's Keep in the Half-Cut Hills. What is the... Do you want to just think as far as that, or do you want to talk about where you guys are going to be headed afterwards, after you complete your training?
Thinking Eastdale, right?
Or straight to Threshold if we wanted, if we're already over there.
Well, yeah, but then we have to go through the Coal Hills, and
We got a road to travel on, right?
Well, you guys have heard rumors about Howler's Moor as well, too.
yeah, more of those shadow beasts.
We've also heard of trolls in the Highmoor.
And things that walk in the Hardlow Woods.
Undead in the Harlow Woods. And the remnants of the
Kev, you jerk, where's the easy route?
There's none. The easy route's right in here.
There's
During the-
trolls in the Highmoor.
Well,
Well, I can cast
Norman
invisibility.
can make it. I don't know about you guys.
Trolls have excellent senses of smell, I'm sure.
Mm.
Because I'm a 5th level wizard. Phantom Steed. Goodbye.
Always thinking of the team. Doppelganger. Just like a doppelganger.
Team. Otherwise, I'd be an evoker.
Fairmaster and Palfrey's Keep, and then who knows, maybe they need to send word back to Milbourne.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. And it's Thurmaster and Palfrey's Keep. Do we have any sense of how long we have until the river freezes over?
He said a couple of weeks, so it's yeah.
So, if we do training in Thurmaster, it's not going to be. I mean, we could walk, obviously,
Yeah.
but we can't take the boat.
Yeah,
You
just
can't take
that,
the boat,
and
no.
There is some stuff we can do in the Shrinking Mire, and if it's frozen, that might be a good time to go in there.
Yeah, if the Shrieking Mire freezes, and the thing is you can with the river as well too. As long as the river, once it's frozen and frozen long enough, you can actually make use of it as a way of getting
Yep.
along too.
Just walk along it.
Get a
So.
sledge and some dogs.
Yeah. Yep, there's the Alaskan thinking in you, John. So, if there's nothing else you guys want to do in Milbourne, I mean, there's a doppelganger fight first, obviously, but if there's nothing else you guys want to do, then what we'll say is that your evening otherwise, passes uneventfully. It's a pleasant time kind of catching up with Geralt. You guys share some war stories of the crazy stuff you guys have been up to over the last 3 months. And more and more people come in. Oh, there was one other thing that you guys did learn of before that I think Serene mentioned to you. It was something to do with Old Grizzler. It's that he is a Fang Dragon. No.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Do you remember anything that she had mentioned about Old Grizzler?
Yeah, so he has like maps of mines that connect to something deeper than the mines. The like closed mine shafts that they decided weren't worth investigating that
Yes.
connect to something deeper.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to open that can of worms yet, though. It seems like he's going to be here. Well, I guess he might not be here when we come back. That's a consideration.
Who's that?
Oh, Old Grizzler, since people just disappearing left and right, we might want to get his map now. And
Yeah, no, I mean it's the so long as that bit of information didn't get forgotten. You, if you're not doing anything with it, like it doesn't sound like the Blandride Hills has any, part of this plan next step. Let's do this, guys. Why don't we're 50 minutes early, but why don't we take our mid-session break a little bit early here, refresh beverages, take our refreshment breaks, and then we'll come back. We'll see how the trip goes along the Churnet. Kuiper, I can tell you now, we're going to be able to sort of hand wave. You'll have an evening spent with Kuiper, but he's not going to have substantially more news about the Thornwood than what Geralt knows. So you'll have learned that from him as well, too. I saw someone measuring the area around the Great Rock Dale there. Does anyone have any questions specifically for Kuiper?
Let's ask him how he would get from Millbourne to Eastdale.
Okay, sure. Yeah, then let's do this. We'll have your dinner with Kuiper, because I do have one random encounter to roll before you get there. And then we will do dinner with Kuiper, and then see how the rest of the trip goes. I mean, flying frozen eels are so much better than, regular eels. So that will be fun. And then we can see if you guys get to Thurmaster. How much time you guys want to spend there? Is everyone going to hang out in Thurmaster? Are you guys going to kind of split the party, have some go to Palfrey's Keep, some stick around and get training done?
How many? It's like 2 days to get to Palfrey's Keep from Thurmaster?
From Thurmaster, in this weather, probably 2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
Because Bergour and I need to train still. Well,
What's Calidor?
Calidor needs to train as well?
Thief, yeah.
So it's 14.
Okay,
So it's about 10 miles. So yeah, maybe about a day, guys, depending on how the weather is.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think it's something that's congenital.
Okay.
Yeah. Or at least it's not something that he's willing to spend for. Or
Well, I was thinking, like, playing into the character backstory, if Dorman sees his leg is wounded, he could do something about it. Maybe later on he might come back and do something about it.
yeah, it's possible. I mean, a serious wound to pay for that is not a small thing, right?
Yeah, I'd ask him if he'd have a minute alone. So.
Yep. Yep.
Has it always been limpy or?
Se Heist? No, it's an injury. It's an injury that caused it. Boy, Dorman really knows how to get. So let's open that wound up and pour some salt in. Tell me again about your crippling injury.
Well,
Now tell me about your dead son. Hey, didn't your wife leave you? Tell me why. Dorman, master of tact.
The low charisma.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a good charisma, but I got all these wounds, so I have to.
All right. Okay, so around Melbourne, meet with Carmen.
So, Dave, are you saying you still need training in Millbourne?
Well, no, but I train fighters, so I'm thinking at Palfrey's Keep, there's probably a fighter.
Yeah.
That I could probably get in, and some guardsmen.
So a couple of us could go to Palfrey's Keep and figure out what's going on there and deliver the message.
Yeah, because the wizards and the thieves will be in Thurmaster for how long? 5 weeks? 4 weeks?
I'll be there for 9 weeks.
Elanion's done training.
Done. He's retiring. I'm good.
I mean,
I
for
got
another
no more
turn
20,000.
in my magic sword and my magic bow and just go off into the sunset.
My union card. Okay, so let's do this, guys. Let's take a break because we'll keep playing, and then we'll come back, check in with chat, and then we will see what happens in Thurmaster and on the trip there. Back momentarily. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, boy. Oh, I think I keep forgetting to mute my mic. All right, let's see who's in chat tonight. We have Brian, of course. What's shaking, Brian? Hobbs, Dave. It's all our players in chat today. That's great. Metagaming, what's shaking? Don't show Carmen anything you want to keep. Yes. Nah, never a bad plan. Anna wants a word as well, too. Yes, she was very excited. It's about 31 degrees Celsius here right now with the humidity. And she is a very tired puppy for most of the day. Andrew, what's shaking? Let's see here. Weatherger, nice map. Where'd you make it? I drew it. Yeah, oh, you already said. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, so thanks, Rathgar. When we started this campaign, I'm telling them. All right. She, honey. What the what? I'm actually going to go close my drapes, I think, because she's going to keep yelling at people. But I made the map because the one that they had was very much in that minimalist. Hold on, I'm going to go.
Didn't have any chocolate, so I decided to make a peanut butter and Nutella on crackers.
Nice.
Kind of cracked.
Howdy, unimportant hero. Griggins, howdy. Thomas Lambert, hi from Tasmania. Holy smokes. Hi, Thomas. Yeah. So it's one of these. The person who's driving her nuts is this idiot who's trying to go door to door sell like alarm systems, and it's the same company that was at the last place I was living, who has the same bullshit. Like, there's been 5 break-ins in your neighborhood in the last couple of weeks. It's like, well, first off, how the fuck would you know that? Secondly, I'm not sure your alarm system is really going to make a big fucking difference. And third, it's the middle of a pandemic where half of the people are home all the fucking time, and I got a dog making so much noise that you can barely get a word in edgewise. So maybe I'm not your, maybe now's not the best time to be trying to hawk your bullshit door to door. Good lord.
Yeah.
I guess you got to make 11 somehow, but. Just, sell your thing. Don't fucking lie about stuff.
Well, that's the worst sales method, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, if it's an old person or someone who's, you know, a diminished capacity or something like that, that's the people who get bamboozled into these bullshit things. So, anyway, fortunately, I at least have my faculties for now. Let's talk about diminishing your character's faculties here, though. So, if there is nothing else you guys want to get done that night, then you guys will be heading out the next day. Now, I think we're going to have to randomly see if there is a boat available, because they don't really keep boats here, and you would have to hire on. I think there is, let's say, a 30% chance of a merchant being available today that you could hire on with. So who wants to take the credit / blame for rolling that?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Nope.
So unfortunately, there's no boat available today. So do you wish to wait, or do you wish to try and set out on foot?
What kind of walk would that be?
Yeah, with the dwarves and gnomes in the party, it might be a bit. It's normally 3 days, I think, to get, or 3 or 4 days to get downriver. Yeah, it's got to be a week or at least a week, well, more if you're doing it on foot. But you know,
Can we hire a boat? Right? Like, if there's a boatman here, could we just pay him to take
well, that's
us?
what I'm rolling. Like, there's no one. Like, it's not a big enough town, so people.
There's nobody here to actually,
Yeah, and like so there may be something the next day. Either someone is upriver, like, you know how Kuiper had a boat that he loaned you, or a rowboat, I guess. There's nothing like that available right now. So, you want to wait another day, or you want to see how this or set out on foot? Now, if you set out on foot, it would be difficult to flag down a boat and try and get on board. Just because, you know, those who travel the river generally learn to ignore heavily armed, you know, men and women screaming at them from the shore. So what do you think, guys? To get to Kuiper's farm, I would think would take you 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 4 days or so.
Well, didn't Lord Carmen also mention that the farms had been attacked and stuff, and he's worried about like orcs on lizards?
On the southern shore.
It's hard to see that from a boat. So if we just walk along the shore, we'll maybe get attacked. I mean,
the one thing you're going to run into is getting across Hog Brook will be tricky, and then getting across the Thurmaster, because there isn't, like, the reason Milbourne is where it is because it's fordable there. Otherwise, the river is mostly navigable for the rest of the length.
Right.
Like, either is fine. You're absolutely right. Like, in these conditions, tracks will be much easier to spot, especially if what you're trying to do is track those lizard tracks.
And if we had somebody with hunting, that would like totally help.
It would help.
Go for track.
If only you guys had someone with hunting.
If only we had somebody with hunting. I don't know.
So what do? Are you setting out today, or are you setting out later?
My suggestion is, why don't we wait here at least a couple days while the river is still navigable? Because even if we wait like 4 days, it's still faster to go by river than to walk it. And then on the way back, once things have frozen over, we can go along the south. We can just, cross the river at Thurmaster and go along the south side like we were talking about, and Hogbrook would be all frozen, and we can get through. We can essentially do what Druin's talking about in, a month or two after we train.
Yeah.
Would you someone give me a D20 roll, please? Okay. Interesting. Now someone give me a D6. D6 roll and then a D9 roll, please.
A 6 on the D6
Okay.
and a 7 on the D9.
Thank you. Okay. So actually what you see, guys, is that there is... What arrives in town is a caravan. A river caravan. That is headed south, or headed towards Thurmaster. So you guys will have boats you can definitely hire on with now. And make your way all the way down to Thurmaster. And if your intent is to not... Now, the difficulty is you wouldn't be able to hop off that and then get to visit with Kuiper.
Yeah.
But, you know, you could always do that later, either on your way back or you can get off.
Or right, Geralt and Kuiper have like ways of sending messages to each other, right? So maybe we could leave a message with Geralt and say like, "Hey, Kuiper, we're gonna come by in a little while, but we've got some business to deal with now."
Yep. Okay.
Because they've got their ranger ways.
All right. So then, let's see. That means the next day you guys can head out. Alrighty. So, let's see. Set out with caravan. Alright. And... Dave, would you kind of give us a percentile roll? See how the weatherman treats you.
Oh, Dave just got booted from the hangout.
Oh, shit. Okay, hold up. Okay, oh, booted from chat, I think. I can still post the link here. Boom, yep. There you go, Dave. Someone else want to give us our weatherman roll? Percentile, please. And then a D6, and then a percentile roll. Okay.
Oh, someone's doing my weather.
So what you find is that the what do you call it? That it is a very, very pleasant day, and you guys manage to make your way partway down the Churnet without incident. Now, the people who you're with, give me 2d10 rolls, please. Let me check one other thing here. Okay. So they're not taken to you terribly friendly. Someone give me a percentile roll, please. Okay, thank you.
This is where Calidor wins him over? Or...
Yeah. That's right.
I don't know, without Bergour around, who's our most charming?
Bergour.
Well, that's obvious, he's a dwarf, but like, really, who's our most charming?
All right, so this is... Harvel Sprue is the name of your captain, and the
Awful spew?
Harvel, Harval, Harval Sprue, Sprue. And Harvel's
Awful spew. What?
his name's Awful Spew, exactly.
Calidor.
They are from deeper in the yeomanry, and they've been making their way along to try and kind of get like the last minute, get themselves to the closer to the border with Killand before the winter fully sets in. The first day of travel is uneventful. You guys boat or bed down for the night, and what you find there, the most interesting thing that you find that comes out is when evening comes, they bring out a skull that they introduce as Old Bonesy. And Old Bonesy is a former member of the crew who died, but they didn't have the heart to give him a full burial at sea. However, they've lost bits of his skeleton over the intervening years. So now Old Bonesy only has the skull left. But whenever they drink, you know, they set out Old Bonesy, and Old Bonesy gets a mug as well. So you guys get
those weird necromantic bones. We could show them a thing or two of Old Bonesy.
Yeah, right. Get yourselves left behind pretty quickly. We got something like that too. A poof.
Exactly.
So I think because in fiction, I think Druin destroyed all of them.
Yep, Druin got rid of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Chael was right there with me to put him down if need be.
Okay. Now let's see here. I think. Elanion, you actually have an oracular ability, right?
Yes.
From your kit. So then you will be our oracle. Give me another D6 or D20 roll, please.
D20 roll coming
Please.
at you live.
Here it comes. Big money. Come on. Oh, big number 10. All right. So what you guys find, do you sleep on the northern shore or on the southern shore?
These guys, we would tell these guys that we should sleep on the northern shore.
Okay. So even from far away, I think that while you guys are camping, Elanion, you are probably the one with the keenest, either you or Calidor. Which of you guys has a higher wisdom? Because you got your elven eyesight.
My wisdom is 14.
And mine is 15.
15. So Elanion, you spy
Although it
this.
doesn't show.
You can see something. You think that you see something stirring or moving amongst the bushes on the Thornwood. It's quite a few miles away from you, but before you bed down, you think that something may have been keeping watch. But fortunately, nothing otherwise happens. The next day of travel, guys, you pass by where Kuiper's Kuiper's farm would be, and you can see that the little dock he had is still intact. You've seen many of those as you made your way along the Churnet. And just as a reminder too, it's been a while since you guys have been down the Churnet River. Let's take a quick peek at what you guys are passing along the way. And is this it? Yeah, right. Here you are, guys.
Tell me stock photo.
Yes, strange diviner that I relied on. What you guys reach after at the end of that day is, once again, you find a similar place. You're closer for sure to the edge there. And Oracle, would you give us another D20 roll? What do you reveal here?
I believe it's going to be the 6 of diamonds.
Here it comes.
I forgot what I was doing.
Can't smart ass and do the thing you're supposed to do at the same time. So,
yeah, no kidding.
there you go. All right. So, you guys are camping on the side there. The water is definitely cold. Dave, would you give us a percentile roll? See what the weather was like this fine day. Weatherman's back. Let's see here. No precipitation today. Okay. So you've had another mercifully free day. It's a little cool because of the there's no overcast skies. But as you're down at the edge there, and let's see who would be. Bergour, you are the toughest of everybody. I think you're schlepping water for the group here. What do you call it? They insist that Old Bonesy is quite thirsty, so they need to make sure that he gets enough of enough to keep him satisfied. You're getting yourself filled up, and you look at the far side. You're much closer to the Thornwood at this point, obviously, and you can see it has that wild and untamed quality to it as well too. You may remember that you passed a different wood heading in, the Lurchwood, and that had a different give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just gonna get the dog inside. I'll be right back.
So what's the plan, guys? More training.
More training. Get even tougher so we can take on even tougher things.
Mm-hmm.
He really has been pushing these orcs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oh. Sorry about that. It just dawned on me that creep was asking an awful lot about what kind of pit bull she was, and I didn't want her running around the yard on her own. So, we have had pit bulls go missing here before, so not us, but like elsewhere in the in Calgary. All right. So the what you see on the far side of the river there, Bergour, along the shore itself, great big, ugly-looking prints leading right down to the water, and you're no expert as to what kind of what kind of thing this thing may be or may have made those tracks. But you certainly have seen what wolf prints look like and what dog prints look like and even what bear prints look like when you guys were all tracking. This looks like none of them.
So I'm going to finish up getting the water or whatever and come back to the group and say, guys, there's might want to come take a look. On the other side, there's some big prints. I'm wondering if Elanion couldn't take a look and see what he thinks they're made from or made by.
Does it matter, Bergour?
Well, this would be our first, real proof of giant lizard things that the orcs are riding.
Besides all the sightings? I saw them last night on the other side of the Thornwood.
Oh, good. You could have told us,
Oh, I didn't think it mattered. We're in a great hurry to reach Thurmaster. It's not like this caravan of boats would wait for us.
That's not what I meant. But okay, Elanion.
All right. You guys can do whatever you like with the prints. You certainly have enough time for.
I'll go take a look.
Okay.
Splash in.
Yeah. So you certainly won't want to go in the water for fear of hypothermia, but you will be able to. You can convince one of the guys to maybe take the boat over, one of the big boats over, just to get you to have a good look. You're gonna have to sort of do some sweet talking to get them to do that, because they just had wrote the things off, but they will be happy to do that for you.
I'll definitely, if we're going all the way over, I'll be our sort of standing guard.
Definitely.
Get hurt by himself.
Yep. Well, and I mean, like, from what Druin's told you as well too, like, these things, what they are, like, if you think a cavalry charge from someone on a horse is fearsome, imagine having a carnivore, like, come dinosaur lizard, charging in and hitting you with that giant mouth and claws before the orcs' axes start hacking into you.
So like that goblin lizard rider, only much more fearsome?
Yeah, way more. Yeah, the kind of giant chameleon that the giant gecko or whatever that the lizard that the goblin was riding, that's like, that is the toy poodle to the Rottweiler that would be the orcish lizard mounts. So, you get yourself over there, and Elanion, you have survival, right?
Yes, sir.
Please give me a roll.
I have hunting too.
You have hunting. Hunting.
I also have
Hunting.
tracking.
Actually, I think... tracking is what I want. Yes, please. Oh. Yep, you can definitely tell from the tracks, you're able to tell the sort of hind legs from the front legs. This thing must be about 10 feet long, not including the tail. So it's a big thing, and it's got to weigh, gosh, with how sort of splayed down it is, it's got to weigh as much as like what a full-grown grizzly would. So whatever's making its way around out here is quite big, and seemingly not caring about the cold either, if it's making its way here. The tracks are pretty easy to see leading directly up. You guys are on the east side of Hogbrook, so the farms have ended, at least on the southern shore, and the woods seem to kind of spring up pretty close to where the edge is. And you may remember from when last time you guys went through here, this stuff is, you know, if you walk 50 feet in, you'll feel as if you're trapped in a primordial forest.
So, through animal lore, does that seem unusual to have lizards active in the winter?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't have to roll for that whatsoever. And I can tell you as well that you've never seen any tracks like this in this region.
I have somewhere else.
Not necessarily. I don't know if you've ever come across these. I mean, you live quite a long time, but... All right, Noisy.
Like,
very upset. You can smell something outside, but can't bark at it.
have I heard of any lizards that are active in the winter, like some kind of drakes or something, or?
I mean, dragons, certainly white dragons, you know, but
nothing else.
I mean, there probably is, but I mean, you I don't think can specify. There's probably, you know, you live in a magical world, so there's all sorts of different crazy things that could have happened. So it makes it difficult to pin it down to being, you know, one thing. And this is assuming it isn't a lizard part of some creature that's an amalgam, like a chimera type thing.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah.
Like a lizard centaur type thing?
It's difficult to tell. You know, what he can say is that he's not come across anything like this before, and not come across anything like this when you guys went through the Thornwood last time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys have a thoughtful evening.
Oh, no fishy smell?
No fishy smell, though. The next day, you guys are able to make it... Whoops, you're able to get distorted. Oh, no. You turned... There we go. You'll make it down into the redwood. You may remember that the redwood is actually a very, very peaceful stand of woods. This is what the people regularly go to hunt from the lands around Parfrey's Keep and Thurmaster, to hunt and to fell wood. And as such, it's really, you know, of all the different forests that are around here, or woodlands at least, it is the most civilized, as it were. There still are those fearsome toads that you guys faced a few months back. And let's see here.
And the dog eating eels?
That was outside of the redwood. That was a little to the west of the redwood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
They
yes.
were tracking us right as we were going through, weren't they?
Yes. Tracking eels, the worst kind. But
Those
fortunately,
sons of guns.
the next day, guys, let's see here. And our Oracle, give me one more D20 roll, please.
Oh, I'm already on the page. I was trying to figure out what page to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Okay.
already there.
Otherwise, it's an uneventful day, guys. And you find yourself arriving, finally, 4 days later, in Thurmaster. Let me quickly write that down. So it's 50. Okay. And as you arrive in Thurmaster, let's take a look at the map here again. Boom. You guys find once again that the walls, master, the Squire Marlin, appears to have taken no further steps. Where is he here?
He's getting paid by the hour, not the job. So
Yes, absolutely.
this was a piecework system, man. He'd had that done ages.
Here he is. There's Squire Marlin, of course, the agent of Lord Palfrey, who happens to live in town here, who's got that Weasley high-pitched voice. He apparently has done nothing to try and improve the surroundings here. The walls still look like they would fall down if you looked at them funny. It looked like the defenses here would have a hard time keeping a sheep out. And you were greeted by the same guy who works the security on the docks. And the docks become quite busy once the caravan sort of, gets in. And what is her name? Baranus, of course, comes out. Your new thief trainer, Caldor.
Nice.
And the merchant. So she greets you all and greets the caravan and begins unpacking everything. So what do you guys want to do with your first night in Thurmaster? Is it eel pies all around, or?
No.
Ugh, no.
No?
See if maybe the tavern has improved a bit, but if it hasn't, no way.
No, it is still... The tavern is exactly the same as it was last time you were here. If you step in, it's got a funny smell to it. You can see people are choking back the eel pies, and it's, of course, run by Wismar.
That guy.
You are fairly certain that the beds will have bugs in them.
He's got the please punch me in the face kind of face. So.
He may have had that nose broken once or twice in the past. All right, so guys, what's happening in town then?
Checking in with Towster, I think, right?
Yeah.
Up.
Okay, so that would be the you, Dorman, I guess, has to meet with Towster. And we got some thieves, so Caldor needs to get training with Baranus.
Yeah.
All right, so you meet, you head over to Towster's home again, and once again, he's got that small building next to the big tower as well, too. You know now to knock on the door, and as soon as you knock on the door, you hear a crash from inside. Oh, gee, who is it out there?
Towster, it's your favorite chef, Dorman Kettleborn.
Favorite chief? What chief do I know?
I make the food, man.
Wait. And he throws the door open and looks down at you. Oh, the gnome.
Yes.
Gnome, what are you doing here?
Well, I found myself in town, and you seem always to be a source of inspiration and wisdom. I've come to learn from you.
You've come to... Oh, for the winter. You've come to learn for the winter.
If you'll have me.
Of course, I could use someone to tidy up. Right now, in fact.
Yeah, I'll get right on it.
Come in.
Start going in there and regaling him my travels into the Patchwork Hills.
Sure. So you head in. Now, guys, let's... if you want to talk to any of the NPCs in town, you are free to do that. We can spend time role-playing through that, but we could also just figure out how much time everyone is spending in in their respective places as well. I know that. Let's see here, Elanion, you need what? Are you ready to gain another level in XP? No. Okay, so Elanion still needs more XP to ding again. Druin, what are you waiting on?
Drew needs to train fighter.
Fighter, okay, and Bergour needs fighter, so you'll need that up
And
at...
then he needs a week and some more XP and another training for fighter.
Okay. Okay. And then Bergour, you are ready to... Oh, you need your adventurer, and then you need to...
Well, it depends on when the 300 XP kicks in or not. But I'm happy if it waits until the adventure is after.
Well, and you know what we make. So what we know is that Druin needs to have some time in between. Dorman needs time in between. Calidor needs time in between, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just fine to wait.
So let's find out here. Let's find out how much time. No one's losing anything by having time pass here. Because you can't adventure alone. Or you can, but I mean, do you want to roll a new character that badly? What's that?
I'm getting Aarakocra.
Yeah, exactly. You can get an Aarakocra now. Hi. Although I think that if you play an Aarakocra, you got to have him speak like Toucan San. You know, you don't have to, but now, what do we need here? Dorman, and so assuming Calidor that you're going to train with the thief trainer here, how many weeks? You're what level going to what level?
4 to 5. 4 to 5.
What, Calidor?
Yeah. I'm not asking Dorman, because Dorman's going to be training as a wizard first.
I believe I'm training... I thought it was level 5? Is it 6? Wait. Now I'm confused. I thought I was level 5 fighter.
Right. What I'm asking is your thief training. What level are you right now?
Oh, sorry. That's what I meant.
Level
Is
5
it?
thief? I don't think that's right.
Isn't it?
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's right, Jeff. I think you're 4th going on 5.
Yeah. Bergour was the only one that was already 5th, going on 6th.
Yeah. So you're a
All the
5th level fighter
multi-class.
now, and you may have enough to train to become 6th as well. But you were
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
okay. So then, if you're 4 going on 5, that means you need 4 weeks to train as a rogue, and then John, you need 4 weeks to train as a wizard, right? To go from 4th to
How
5th.
much gold was that?
Okay.
As soon as
Okay.
I'll know 100% when I look at this chart.
Yeah, the Dorman and
'Cause I
Calidor
re-
are neck and neck for thief, so or were.
Okay. And then Bergour and Druin. Well, Bergour is going to be the longest. You need what to train as a fighter?
I will need 6 weeks for my next training
Okay.
because I'm 6 going on 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 1 XP less than 6. Right.
Okay. Okay.
So I am
So, yeah,
currently
so you-
4. Yeah.
Okay. So you'll need 4 weeks for you, 4 weeks for Dorman, and 6 weeks for the. So, guys, remember, like the trainers do have things available, but the onus. This is a sandbox game. You guys need to be asking about that stuff. They're not like Warcraft quest givers where you're just going to show up and you know.
Check for the exclamation point.
Yeah, exactly. Once they have the question mark is what you need.
Oh, question mark.
Oh, hold on. No, maybe you're right. I think it's exclamation mark, and then when you have the quest, it becomes a question mark, and then you cash it in once you complete it. That's been a while.
Talking
Okay,
about ding ding.
so it costs you how much? 1,600?
We go 4 to 5, yeah.
4 to 5. Okay, so do you guys each have 1,600?
I do.
I don't.
Yep.
Nope.
Who does not?
Druin does not.
Druin does not. Calidor, do you?
No, I don't have. Not without splitting up and selling some of the treasure that we hoarded from.
Well,
this
assume
last
that
adventure.
stuff's. I'm assuming you guys have distributed that. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've distributed all.
Which
No.
that was. So sorry, you said that was 250 and 200, I believe. Was
Yeah.
So, actually, I'm just short if I had 450.
you're short 450.
Oh, no. Hold on, I'll tell you how much. I just have to do this. 1165 plus 450. Oh, no, I have 1615.
Perfect. You can afford your training.
Remember, we still have some unclaimed magic items we might be able to cash in for reduced cost. So,
Okay.
it might be helpful.
Was that about magic items?
We
Yeah,
have,
John, you need it. You've been really quiet the last couple of weeks. I don't know if something's gone on with your mic, but it's been a little more muffled than usual.
let's see.
Have you guys found that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to hear, John.
Well, John, you're just using your webcam mic, right? You don't have a separate mic,
Correct.
right? So yeah, I wonder if the settings got changed somewhere.
Maybe Windows changed them for you, like.
I like to do for Jeff.
Every week.
Yeah. So I have to do the same thing as well.
Input. Is that better? No?
Yeah, a little bit. I
A
think.
little bit, I think. Yeah.
So that's the master volume I'm messing with. It changes everything.
It should be the if you go to the you're using a PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the settings, to the sound settings, you should be able to set up your mic, and you
Yeah,
can
I was in there.
yeah, and that'll allow you to set. It's not the master volume you need; it's the gain.
Yeah,
Were you able to change that?
I'm looking.
Okay.
It doesn't make it easy on my system here.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Yeah,
But,
of course.
What I can speak a little bit louder, but we have some unclaimed magic items in the loot bin. As far as nobody could use them or want them, we were going to maybe cash those in for.
This is an aside, guys. We just had someone comment on. I had to look up the eagle sound. Turns out you're dead on. The most common eagle sound is actually the red-tailed hawk. Go figure. This show is both fun and educational. That's what we strive for. Sorry, John. You were saying you're gonna.
Yeah, but there's no. It's in AD&D Second Edition. There's no like magic user or magic item sellers. We'd have to like find somebody who wants an item and barter with them.
I'm not saying sell the item. I'm saying try to barter for reduced cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you might find a fighter trader over in Parlay. The key.
Or maybe we just go and talk to the trainers and find out if they've got any tasks we can do for reducing the training costs.
Okay. I will tell you. So what? John's not wrong. I'd absolutely allow if you guys can, depending on what the magic item is. I mean, those beckoning bones are probably not going to get a lot of takes on them. Why are they? They're just sitting on the auction house. This is bullshit. But
They're destroyed. So hopefully. We got
but
something
you know,
better
for
than
some
that.
of the other things, especially like if you've got leftover swords, say, you know, that's a pretty amazing thing. So if you wanted to say to try and get a discount or even like a waive the training fee altogether, that may be something that they would be willing to trade for. I won't be looking at the gold cost for it necessarily. Like you're right, Dave. That what I don't want is for it to effectively just become another piece of currency the way it does in like third or 3.5 or fourth or fifth or I mean fifth doesn't do that, but you know John's right that there's even though there's not a dollar value to be put on them there or a gold price value, they definitely have value and they would be attractive to certain groups.
Right.
So. So are there any magic items that you guys are thinking that might help you with that? Bergour, you're going on to 7th now, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to pay for training to get to 7th level.
Yeah. So I'm happy to spot people money if they need, because I've got my full share of money.
Well, to get to 5th level fighter, Druin's really only short about what he left with Rendemus. So.
Okay. Well then, yeah, 300 gold pieces. I'm gonna.
I think I have.
And then
1600. Yeah. So I'm short 320.
320.
I
Take
could
350.
spot half. I mean, I could spot some of that too if you'd like.
yeah, because Elanion didn't have to train for his last level. Or
And now that
spend money.
and as we get a little higher, we'll have extra gold to get the last characters up in their training.
And then once you all hit 6th, from
Why don't
6th to 7th, you
I
guys.
find out- Bergour, why don't we head to Palfrey's Keep and see if there's anything we can do up there to try and, save on training costs and or help out.
So we know what Talster wants. He wants us to check out the giant footprints and.
So about that, there's been a development. Since you guys last met, they have had 4 deaths around the community. And those have come by way of being smooshed by a giant club. 3 of those all happened down by the Shrieking Mire later in the summer. and then another on a outlying farm near Thurmaster. They're not happening with the consistency of, you know, them occurring every week or every day. But I mean, people have been seeing things go missing, and it's hard for giants to hide their footprints, particularly in snow. Even with the heavy snowfall, you know, it's not hard to miss those giant tracks. So what Towster will tell you is that whatever those things, it seems like he's found the answer to that. And if there are giants that are lurking in here, dealing with them will certainly be a boon to not only the people of Thurmaster, but Palfrey's Keep, being Lord Palfrey. Thurmaster is under his purview. So, yeah. Thankfully, the giants have not made their way to Thurmaster yet, but, I mean, you guys have not faced giants yet, but looking at those walls around here, it's very unlikely that this place would withstand a siege of any kind of giants, however small the group may be.
So who's heading up to Palfrey's Keep while the mages are training?
Elanion.
Just Bergour and Druin? Elanion?
Bergour and Druin. Okay. So then, guys, let me grab my calendar.
This is weird. Apparently my gain's all the way up.
Your gain's all the way up? Say something again?
Test.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good to be the mic then. So, let's see here.
Oh, looks like I need to convince my wife to let me buy a mic.
Nice! And I think by now that we're far enough into the pandemic, and enough of those impulse buys that everyone was buying, they were sold out of Yeti Blues for a while there. Okay. By they, I mean Amazon, I guess.
Oh, I haven't been updating the party log. Just so you guys know.
Oh, great.
You have been?
I have not been.
I think it was me, I think. I just wanted to know if anybody was putting notes in.
Okay.
Yeah, in case, because it updates weird when you have two people editing it.
I added the notes from Towster.
Okay, let me think here, guys. So, 4 weeks will take us into Fireseek. Oh God, you guys will be going through you're into a new year now, guys. You celebrate the festival of Needfest, which is midwinter. And you will be into, so let's see here, that's 13 days to get to there, 14, and then another 14, so it'll be the 14th of Fireseek is when Dorman and Calidor will complete their training, and then it will be, let's see here, and Elanion, you can, both you and Dorman can help yourself to a traveling spellbook. It says 50 pages. Yep.
Where's that from?
It is only from Towster. Towster, if you guys are, you guys have been of great help to this. You're coming along in training. Once you hit 5th level, you are really reaching a different tier, and he'll also have one for Knox.
Okay, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Just because he's not here, he still gets it.
Yeah.
Sorry, George, you didn't get to train.
Yeah.
Wait till next time we hit a village with a trainer.
He's also going to give you, now, it does cost you, like, when you guys are copying over, I'm not sure if you've been tracking this, but it does cost you money to, like, there's special inks and shit that you need to get in order to copy the spells over. So you, he will give you, let's say, $200. Good God. Bush League DM. Good golly. This true immersion is what you guys come for here, right? They've also set up a Subway in Thurmaster, you know?
Now, is that a Subway for transportation or a Subway for food?
Yeah, good call.
Like an underground passage between Thurmaster and Palfrey's Keep?
The campaign is called Night Below, so
Get on the D line today, and
yeah. What you find is, I'm sorry. He'll give you 200 gold worth of inks and such. It's shit he's got kicking around his lab. He really thought that he would get a lot more arcane research done out here, and it seems that he's been farting around with potions and stuff instead of expanding his magical knowledge.
Ooh, I was interested in some of the spells that we have in a spell book. You might want a copy.
He'll take a look in the time, but
a bit light on the illusion spells, and I got an illusion spell book that we might copy from.
yeah, I think he's an evoker though, so he may be limited in which ones he can actually. I can't remember if the evokers can learn illusion spells or not. Now, obviously, so Dorman, you do get to pick a new spell in the course of your training as well too. Let's
Selected.
do this. The fighters, you also, so it'll be 2 more weeks for you guys to finish. We're going to go back and talk about what happened during this time as well, guys. To the end of Fireseek. It's now the 28th of Fireseek as you guys are completing your training.
Good point.
Nice.
Drew's going to see if there was anything that the trainer needed. I don't know who the trainer is yet, but
It's one of the like basically like the Master of Arms. The guy who he's not a knight or anything, but he's the guy who kind of keeps the Parfrey's militia kind of in, or a house guard, I should say, in line. If you guys are willing to sort of serve alongside them for the time, obviously they would be very grateful if you could deal with this giant problem, because good golly, like that's if they come further north and start, what you guys learn from Lord Parfrey, and we'll talk about him and his son in a moment here as well. I just want to get the kind of the mechanical stuff done first. Elanion, you will also have, now that you got your new spell book, you will have 6 weeks to transcribe spells as well too, if you like.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Bergour and Druin. So Druin, you're now got another level of fighter. So your Thaco will go down. Bergour, your Thaco will go down. Why don't you roll hit points, guys?
so Bergour, I'll borrow 350 gold from you,
Yeah, sounds good.
and that will put me.
What's
Oh,
a
sorry,
little bit of
Dave.
debt among friends?
If are you guys willing to part with that two-handed sword?
The one
Rovar?
that's lower?
Ruavar?
Yeah.
The elven two-handed sword?
Yeah, we could.
What are the
we could,
stats on that sucker? Is it plus one?
Yeah, it's a +1 sword, and if fighting in the dark, let me see what it says here. It's
Darker underground.
while at night or underground, once per day can act as if under the effect of blur, distorts your form, -4 for the first attack, -2 on successive attacks.
Right. So that is probably like that one is as an example something that may appeal to a fighter.
Yeah, to the Master of Arms.
Yeah, yeah. So, I need to get the GP costs. Hold on here. Sort of be out of here. Somewhere Will is cringing. I'm grabbing another book. The rest of my life, I'll think of Will every time I grab for a book in a mid-session.
Bergour, I might not need to borrow any gold from you.
As far as the thief training goes for Calidor, that composite longbow with the healing on it might be interested. For a thief.
Well, Hobbs was saying that he hasn't decided which of the ones he wants to keep. I think Carrick will take whatever one that isn't.
Yeah, I thought they were talking about on Wednesday about using it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Hobbs, I don't think we've been deleting the spell books. They've just been sitting in the thing. So like back to session 29, there's the Goblin spell books there, with like Snellick Snowball and.
What
Some of them we don't have details on. I think they're in the Discord.
Yeah, if we could transpose that over, that would be awesome.
So you know what he'll do if you do want to gift the Ruavar, I think that might cover the training costs
For
you. Bergour doesn't need to pay because he's going to 7th level. For your fighter,
yeah, Then you know what? I will do that, and I will not borrow 350 from Bergour.
Okay. God dang. Bergour got another 10 hit points. Good God.
Another 14 hit points. 18 gone.
Fucking hell.
Would Tauster be interested in that Lamia staff to like offset somebody else's cost?
That is a pretty evil thing, and he's a pretty... Well, I mean, it withers limbs, and it ages people with hits, and he's pretty clumsy. He seems to break shit every time you guys knock on the door, and to avoid him accidentally withering his arm, he probably wants nothing to do with that.
Okay. So it's 2d10 for... not 2d20 for my hit points, right?
There's one way to catch up to Bergour.
6.
6, okay, so then you get 3 hit points.
3 hit points plus my 1 from my con. Yep.
Okay. That's right, because you've been splitting it between the two. All right,
Yeah.
so you guys are making...
And we talked about transferring weapon specialization over. Can I specialize in shield bashing as my instead of the battle axe?
Let's see here.
I guess does that count as a weapon that I could specialize in, or is that the sort of thing that it's not really like?
Well, so the shield bashing you can't. I mean, if you attack with your shield, you don't get the AC benefit of it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, okay.
But you get a bonus for dual wielding from the shield proficiency thing. So I could dual wield with the sword and the shield bash essentially and attack a whole bunch of times is what I'm imagining.
Yes, you could. Although I think what Dave was saying is that your offhand doesn't get the weapon spec bonus, does it? Like you don't get.
I will look up that. But I specifically was wondering for the like attack rate if I got in trouble and needed to smack something with the shield.
With your shield, if you weapon specialize with it, yeah, you get the regular bonuses, which would include the increased attack rate and the +1 to hit, +2 to damage from weapon specialization.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that's what's normal. But I'll look up whether it applies to dual wielding or not.
Yeah, and I think that like what if you're attacking with each weapon in each hand, like the sword and board technique that you got, that when you're using your shield as a defense, that's when you get the defensive bonus.
But it also has a sword and board also has a bonus if you're using the shield as an offhand weapon.
Oh, great! Then that's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll still get at least a +1 from that.
Page 84 for dual attacking.
Okay, I will look it up right now, and I will trade over. So, in addition to getting a lot of hit points, I also am now at the point where I attack at a rate of 2-1 with specialized weapons.
Ooh, very scary.
Very scary.
And did you swap, or did you get your new proficiency in Bastard Swords?
I put my new one into Bastard Swords. I'm going to swap the Battle Axe for shield punching.
Okay. And then, let's see here, Calidor, you completed your thief training, so give us a 2d6 roll. Let's see how many hit points you get. Dorman, where are you getting the invisibility from?
From the book, the spell book I have.
Oh, because you're going to take the extra 2 weeks.
Yeah, I get the free spell that I get to pick from just leveling up, and then I learn a new spell as a wizard by gaining the 3rd level. I'm just going to pull it from that spell book.
Well, you get 1 free spell as an
As a mage,
right?
One free as being a specialist that I get to pick.
No, there's none you get from a mage. Mages don't get a free spell. You only get it because you're a specialist. And then what Tauster has been offering is one from his books that he'll offer you.
Yeah, so I'm just pulling it from the.
No. But the thing is, you will have 2 weeks to learn other spells as well, because you'll be done your first batch training as of 4 weeks, and then the other guys will be done. Calidor, a 4. Okay, so you gain 2 hit points there, Calidor.
Trying to control it.
And then you have, I think, 30 points to spend amongst your thief things, and I think your backstab goes up by 1, doesn't it? It's ×3 now.
Yeah, just flipping to the rogue section.
Okay.
Where is backstab?
Okay.
Yeah, times 3.
Double check the weight of your traveling spellbook as well, too, because that will add to you guys.
How much is it?
In the house rules. I don't know offhand. I'm sorry. House rules are pinned on each of the top of each of the Discord channels. Now, let's see here. So Bergour has done his training. Bergour's got his new hit points. Druin, you've completed yours. Now, we have how many other characters who are... we have... Calder is done all of his training except for he needs to do an adventure and then get his fighter training, right? Or are you ready to train a second level in both of them, Jeff?
Yeah, I could go to level 6 in both if I won't have enough money, though.
Okay. So you're in level 5 in both Thief and Fighter now. Okay, and then Dorman, you are level 5 in one or both?
In both. I'm ready to go level 6 for Thief, but I don't have enough money for that.
Okay.
What does your thief trainer want for?
Oh, it's 5 times.
No. What kind of quest does she have to reduce the cost of your training?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to Baranus yet. I also really want to talk to her about not just being a slave, because that made me hate the last guy.
Yes, we got a quest. I mean, I only need 1,400 and I can afford the next level, but...
You only need 1,400 to...
Well, on top of what I have already.
Okay. How much do you have right now?
I got 1,100 free.
Okay.
You need 1,400?
If I need 1,400 more to level up.
I don't know. What do you got to trade, Dorman?
Got a...
What about the stuff that's in the party leaflet?
No, I meant to me.
So, how much are you offering?
How much am I offering? I could offer 1,400.
I could
Maybe.
split that. I could
Or
split
split it with
Bergour.
Elanion. That's probably the better solution.
Well, based on the spells I'm getting now, my ability to move fast is going to be pretty much guaranteed. Flicker Cloak?
Elanion, you haven't decided about that longbow yet?
No, why? Do I need to?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if we had a longbow, maybe the thief trainer would...
No, we're giving it to Sarek or whatever his name is.
Carrick.
Carrick,
Oh, right.
Sorry,
I'll
Kev, you
give you
said
the
I get
700.
30 points, right?
I think it's 30. I think
I'm gonna find that.
thieves get 30 per level.
Yep, 30 per level.
Okay.
Max is 15, you can put into 1 per level.
Right.
Yeah. And then at level 6, do you get any new proficiencies as well, or...
Oh, I haven't checked 6 yet.
Let's see here. Or, sorry, hold on. Calidor is only level 5. Never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me.
Yeah, at level 6 you get new proficiencies, but not at level 5
Okay.
for fighter.
Okay.
I don't know about thief.
Proficiency.
Oh, you leveled thief, didn't
Yeah.
you? So
So Elanion's getting some spells.
No, weapon proficiency, no, it's level divisible by 4, so the next weapon proficiency and non-weapon proficiency for a rogue or a thief is 8.
Next is 8?
Yes, 8.
Okay.
For me as a mage, though, I will get a non-weapon proficiency as a mage at 6th level, so I'm not getting anything new.
Okay.
Except for Sacco decrease.
Okay. Then I think so. Calidor, you're done your training as a thief. So guys, in the interim, Elanion, are you hanging out in Third Master while you're doing this? Like learning your spells, or are you heading off to Palfrey's Keep with the rest of the guys?
I had gone to Palfrey's Keep, but I don't know if that works with the spell books. Or...
Oh, right, because you will need. I mean, if 4 weeks without, if the guys want to come in, if Dorman and Calidor want to come and meet you guys in Palfrey's Keep afterwards, then you could just take all the spell books with you, and then Dorman could meet up with you and do his 2 weeks of prepping spells while Bergour and Druin finish training with you in Palfrey's Keep.
Yeah, it looks like I got to blow 6 days to learn my my special invisibility spell.
Okay. Oh my God, that's a long time. Okay, so then
Only takes 3 pages though.
Nice.
I rolled good.
So then let's see here. Druin and Bergour. What you guys meet a couple of people in the Parfrey's Keep. Okay. So the man-at-arms is a guy named Valdir, and what you come to learn the what do you call it? The house guard really only represents about 16 men, and the Keep, having been primed with what Geralt told you as well too, Bergour and Druin, when you guys arrive at Parfrey's Keep the first time, you can see, like, yeah, this is a relatively new structure. This is something that it cannot have more than 4 centuries on it. It's fine, like it's a sturdy keep. It definitely would keep, it would do the stuff it does, keep the people inside safe, keep the enemies hopefully outside. But it's surrounded by a small farming community as well too. You pass a bunch of farms. Although, unlike in Millbourne and around the Churnet River, it's not a matter of constant farmland. There is some farmland, and then there is a big gap of, just trackless snow, which is no doubt covering fields. And then you get back into farming country as you make your way up to the Half-Cut Hills. Druin, when you see the Half-Cut Hills, it's exactly as you thought, as you've been told. It genuinely looks like some titanic being just went shook, and cut the hills. So there's a distinct, like, sharp, smooth side to them, and then they cut down on the far side. It's kind of...
I think once we, come around a bend or get out of the trees or whatever it is that blocks us from seeing it, Druin is, like, just in awe, and he'll actually just kneel in the snow and take in the sight and imagine his god chopping these chunks of rock.
Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, it's really quite something to see an actual manifestation of your god's power on Orth. And let's see here. Parfrey's Keep itself. When you get in, you find that it is you quickly meet Tylar, the Houndmaster, as well too. But otherwise, the keep is very sparsely attended. There are a handful, like you would guess, a skeleton crew of servants who help them, but much of the keep is unused, or at least not really, kept up for regular appearances. You meet Count Sandior Palfrey, and I don't think I've loaded an image of him yet, so I'll have to do that between now and next session.
What was the trainer's name?
The trainer's name was Valdir. Valdir. He's the man-at-arms.
The Master-at-Arms?
Or Master-at-Arms, yeah.
Master Man-at-Arms.
Yeah. He-Man's buddy. Then it is... you meet Sandior, and I'll put that in chat here. Two guys. Yeah, Count Sandior Palfrey. Anyone have history as a proficiency? Nope. You also meet his son. His son is about 18 years old. His name is Lintern. And this kid is... God, you remember how big Dagmire was when you first met him? That big slab of meat? he reminds you very much of him. This kid is huge and strong, and a little bit of you thinks like it's not surprising that this kid, his mother died giving birth to him, because he looks like he might be half troll. Sandior himself, no doubt, was quite an impressive specimen of manhood in his day, but as he's approaching, as I said, 80 winters, he's withered and ovaled and kind of hunched over. He still has a presence. If you think of Max van Sydow as King Osric in Conan, it's a good go-to reference for him. He probably was an impressive man at one point physically, but now he's kind of doddering and old. And while he has his sire, he has his heir now. From what you've heard about him, going through 5 wives to try and find a suitable heir, he really treats him abysmally. Like, actively embarrassing him in the first time you see him. So, Lintern seems like a lovely guy. He's training when Bergour and Druin, you guys are working with Valdir. He's working with them as well, too. And if you guys tell him about the deeds that you guys have completed and the different tasks you've undertaken over the past couple of months, he is enraptured with them. He's just cannot get enough of the stories of the gnolls and the... Yeah, he grows every time. Exactly.
250 gnolls.
An entire country's worth. So he, and then if, Elanion, I'm not sure how gregarious you are with the folks in the keep as well, too, but he'll be likewise, amazed at the stories, whatever stories you choose to share with him about your people and about the history of of that offshoot of elves in this region. What do you guys think that, what do you think you've told? Oh, I got an idea.
I want to know more about these giants.
You want to know more about this? So what you actually learn is it's not... if there's giants that are preying on people here, it's a bit weird, because there's tribes of stone giants that live up in the half-cut hills. And the stone giants actually helped build Palfrey's keep. The legends are that they're not friends or allies in the sense that they would come to help defend or things like that. And the giants generally like to be left alone by small creatures, but they've not been belligerent. So it's strange that although, like, Lord knows what lurks in the Shrieking Mire. What he also shares with you is, well, I guess what he wants to know is, have you heard the tale or the legend of the Queen of the Shrieking Mire?
No.
You guys heard that? You guys heard that the lizard folk attacked the Thurmaster, it's like 40 years ago or something like that, or 30 years ago. Apparently, it was done to appease the Queen, who's been here for longer than what perhaps even Palfrey's family has been. And he sort of hints at there's very few things that live that long. But what I've heard is that there's a dragon that lives in that mire. Have you ever seen a dragon?
Yeah.
You did?
Silhouetted by the starlight.
You saw a dragon and lived to tell the tale.
It didn't see me, and that's the important thing.
You guys. He's just... Every story you guys tell him, like, it's getting very close to where he's hinting quite heavily that he wants to go with you guys. You get the distinct impression Count Palfrey would be very displeased with that.
Yeah, we still want.
And I don't know, we haven't taken henchmen out with this group, but on the channel, it's a bad idea.
It's, yes. Henchmen, hirelings, pets. It usually ends poorly. That hawk of yours has lasted longer than any henchman we've ever...
Because he hasn't been in battle, really.
Yeah, that's true. So, guys, let's see here. Do you have... Oh, nice. Okay, someone's got some sense. 2 cents about... Oh, hey, we got someone who's got some recommendations for mics in chat there, John.
Oh,
as well,
okay.
too.
I will take a look at that. I appreciate it.
Cool. Hobbs, how is the training for your spells going? Filled up that new spell book?
Well, don't we want to, for the travel spell book, aren't we trying to take our spells from our other spell book or not? I guess I'm
up to you.
by its purpose.
The travel, so the full size spell book with the 100 pages, that's £20. I think the traveling spell book is only 10, but it's
7.5.
Oh, there you go. Right. 7.5, but it's got 50 pages in it, so it's even lighter, but it's smaller. So your choice, how you choose to use that one. If you are copying over a spell that you already know, you do not need to roll for it again. You just, however many pages it took before, that's how many pages it takes again.
Okay.
I somehow have 4 pages left in my big spell book, so I'm still using that one.
Okay. All right.
I lost these.
So you're working on that. So Druin, Calder's finished his training. Jeff, you finished updating your character?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so you're all done up. Let's see here. Bergour has finished his training. Dorman, you finished your training as wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Did you get your learning done for spells for their 2-week period?
I still have 8 days I could do that on, but I got the spells that I want.
Okay. And then Druin has completed his. So what else have you heard here? Let's see. Is there anything else that was going on here? Yeah, the Giants, they, in the month and a half that you guys are training as well, a 4th death occurs at another farm that's still near Thurmaster. So whatever those giants are, they've definitely been still causing problems for the people living near the Shrieking Mire, and it seems that they're, what their plan is for the winter is to prey on the people living there. So I know that Dorman has more training to do. Who else? Calder, you've got more training to do as well, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So then, what do you guys... You'll need to get some time... I mean, Dorman, do you have enough money to train as a...
Between Elanion and Bergour being very generous, I do, yes.
So that means you would need 4 more weeks. Do you want to...
5 weeks.
Oh, 5 weeks for that one. Okay.
That's going from 5 to 6.
Okay. So do you want to take the 5 weeks, like sit out whatever's happening with the Giants, or do you want to go along with the Giants?
Well, technically, I haven't been on an adventure since I leveled up from the Thief. There's a little trip to Harlington and Melbourne and here count.
Okay. Where did you last train as a thief?
You said there was a scout in the Aarakocra place?
Right. Okay. Yep.
I haven't been on an adventure between yet, so...
Yeah, so that okay. So then you would need that anyway. Okay. Not that I'm forcing you guys to go after these giants. I mean, there's certainly other stuff you guys can do. There is actually one other thing as well. Lord Palfrey has been in touch with... You deliver the message from Lord Carmen. He thanks you for it, but he doesn't discuss it with you. What are you guys doing with the time between when you start your training and for those of you who are in Palfrey's Keep, is there anything else you kind of want to try and do or try and accomplish in that time? Apart from ingratiating yourself to Valdir?
Is there an armor smith?
There is. Yep.
Druin doesn't have time to make himself new armor, but wants to, go and spend some time at the forge and even just help out.
Okay.
Is this armor smith, does he recognize the, I don't think we still, I'm trying to remember if anybody still actually has the Castle Forge swords from way back when or not, but I don't think so. But we could probably draw like the symbol, the maker's mark that was on those swords that we found on the orcs.
Yeah. So his name is Aiden. Aiden is the current blacksmith in Palfrey Keep, and he's kept fairly busy. In the wintertime, obviously not quite as busy, so you certainly have more time to kind of share an ale and have a chat with him about it. If you show him what you've seen, he can tell you that that's from our family. I've not seen something like this before, but it is. Oh, you know what? Let's do one more thing here too. Hold on, where is it? Let's add an NPC quirk to this guy, because those are all fantastic. Where are we here? Will someone give me a percentile roll, please?
87.
87, okay. There we go. He has one eyebrow.
Okay, like a unibrow, or he's missing one?
Unibrow. He's missing one. Actually, I like that better. That's funny. Yeah, he's missing his left eyebrow from, no doubt, from singeing of some kind. That's funny. And and he constantly suggests ways to make activities more fun and exciting. Both fun and exciting are in quotes. So it is probably the consequence of having made one of his forging activities more fun and exciting that led to him burning off one of his eyebrows permanently. So he is a bit of a prankster, I guess, and he, which is maybe a bad combination with a smith, but he does definitely know that this is something from one of his ancestors. He can't tell you. It's not his father's mark. It's not his grandfather's mark. And he doesn't think it's his great-grandfather's mark, but he can't tell you how much further back it goes. His family's been with the Palfreys since they came here.
Yeah.
So they've been here for a long, long time. Where did you find it? Where did you find the mark?
We had a run-in with some orcs that were carrying swords with the mark on them.
Orcs carrying a sword with this mark on it. Where did you find it? Was it in the Great Rock Dale?
In the Thornwood.
Orcs in the Thornwood with this mark on their weapons. Tell me a way that you guys have ingratiated yourself to this character. What is it that happened?
Druin and Bergour are both like armors and smiths, right? So we've probably been working with them, just blow off steam.
Yeah, love
Teach
that.
him not to burn off his eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. So the one eyebrowed Aiden, Aeden is how his name is spelled, incidentally. I'll have to update now that you guys have met more folks in Palfrey's Keep, I'll update the NPC list as well, too, the document. And what he tells you one night while deep in his cups is whether you've heard about the doom that came to Palfrey's Keep. Or to the Palfrey family. So, you've heard the story, I take it, about the Lord Palfrey's ancestor, who, who is somewhere else in the book. It was Lothar Palfrey. Lothar Palfrey went up and faced a necromancer who had established themselves in the Hardlow Woods. Lothar Palfrey was a paladin of St. Cuthbert and brought his righteous fury and his retinue up into the Hardlow Woods. And though they all, near to a man, died, apart from Lothar, he triumphed. What isn't shared is that with his dying breath, the necromancer cursed Palfrey. And it's said that though Lothar survived, he never truly lived again. This, and he kind of gestures at the castle around, this is the second home of the Palfreys. And the doom that struck them in their original home casts a shadow that still lurks and haunts the Thornwood Forest. It's said that the original name of the Palfrey Keep was Brilliant Spire Keep. But after the doom came to the Palfreys, it was known as Broken Spire Keep. And it was abandoned. My ancestors survived and came. But after that doom came, none spoke of it again. The Palfreys insisted that to escape the doom, they needed to leave that behind. Broken Spire was left to be reclaimed by the woods. And whatever dark things that came with the doom, some say from the depths of hell themselves, they were left as masters of it. Or, so the stories say. You know, I was thinking, if we put an entire bundle of horseshoes in with some of that powder, that might be kind of fun. And so goes your regular evening with,
Yep.
with Aiden. So, anyone else you wish to speak? What Lord Palfrey really does not give you an opportunity to ingratiate yourself to him. He's happy to have you as guests, particularly if you're going to work the forges and help out with that. And then once Calidor and Dorman join you as well too, just helping in general kind of tidy up parts and reestablish part of the keep is probably would be enough to help them. What do you guys want to be doing next then? You guys have completed your training. You guys have... Oh, and John, thank you so much for setting up those macros for the spells too. That is really, really cool.
Really simplifies going have to flip back and forth.
Absolutely. So what do you guys wish to do next then? You guys have now all met up. It's been almost a month and a half. It's been more than a month since you guys have seen each other. Calidor, Elanion, you can imagine the rest of your allies have arrived as well too. What are you guys thinking? I'll let you guys do some talking instead of me.
Dorman arrives on a phantom steed that's partially see-through, rearing up, and he leaps off and says, "Hey guys!"
Hey, Dorman. We found
Did
a
you
way
say
to
something,
burn off.
Druin?
Special horse, come on guys.
We found a way to burn off your eyebrows. Come here, I'll show you.
I I don't touch fire magic. I'm not an evoker. I cannot.
No, it's not magic. It's just at the forge.
Oh,
Made a new friend.
no.
Okay, then I'm in.
Yeah.
Can't be that different from the kitchen, right? Sure.
Okay. So Dorman heads off to the kitchen. Now, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys are doing next here? Let me move all of you up to Parfrey's Keep. You've also, Caldor, in your time you spent with Baranis, she has definitely got some pretty serious smuggling connections up and down the coast here. She's not a sailor herself, but she's bringing things in, and you come to realize that the reason that she's able to keep a shop open here is because basically it's a way station for smugglers. It's an out-of-the-way place. No one comes to this town. The actual lord doesn't even live here. So it's a great, cover for a place for people to be smuggling shit in and out of the region. There's also a ton of abandoned buildings around here, which makes it really easy to hide contraband without anyone really knowing. And the meager guard force that they keep in Thurmaster, they would have a hard time keeping track of where any of this stuff would be going.
Okay, cool. So it's easy money for her almost.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that like a place that is half occupied with no defenses, with a bunch of basically a ruined town outside of it, and no place you can safely stay without getting food poisoning. There's a reason that it's still open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you wish to? Is there anything you wanted to try and bring up with her, or talk to her about, or whatever, while you're helping her out?
So, well, basically, I guess my first question is, what kind of work does she have me doing?
A lot of go-between with some gopher work of like transport. It's more arranging for the transporting of contraband than it is for actually carrying the stuff. So you're at least getting to do more of a supervisor role here than you did with Darren R. Deeds.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
And then a lot of that stuff, just like overseeing negotiations with her. You're paying her, so she's certainly happy to cut you in and kind of show you the ropes of this stuff.
Yeah, okay.
The thing you find most shocking is that no one suspects her in town. She presents as this poor widow whose husband died and left her this, this shop to run on her own, and she can barely make a go of it. But man, like when you see her at work with some of these, hard-bitten smugglers, whew, there's some real steel behind that lady.
Right. Okay. I guess I would just want to talk to her about, because if I've paid her for this training, that's cool, but if there's anything I could do long-term, basically for my next training, what
are you thinking?
Any way to earn money with her, or, as far as stuff she might need done in the wider world?
What I could tell you is that with some of the more nefarious folks that she deals with, that staff that Dorman had tried to pawn off on old Toaster, that thing might be find much more free and liberal use with ne'er-do-wells. Think of the fear you could strike in the people who owe you money if you can age them 10 years or wither one of their limbs away.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So if you were, say, to suggest that, I'll bet you she'll forego the training costs altogether. It is turning over a pretty deadly artifact to a pretty sinister lady, but...
Yeah, fair enough.
Dorman's not going to do it. So if anybody does, you should do it, Caldor.
I'll think about it. I mean, that's not till next... I would use that next time, so...
Yeah. The difficulty is when by the time you guys are completed your 4 weeks, the river is frozen. Once the river thaws, then she will she may have some other tasks for you, like some actual smuggling things. But that won't be until spring.
Cool, yeah.
The trouble is it's not till
Right.
spring, so
Which makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you've got something else to offer, or there's anything, other things, and the rest of you guys can feel free to suggest stuff to Jeff as well.
I'll have to think about that for. I mean, that's not for. I don't want to. I'll pay for this one because I have the gold for it, but I don't have
Yeah.
the gold for the next one. So I'll think about it
Yeah.
between now and
Okay.
then.
Okay. So then, once you guys have all met up in Palfrey's Keep, I guess, Caldor, you can... Do you share the... Well, I see you probably with Dorman, with just how extensive her operation is. And Dorman, she probably operates under some kind of, like, pseudonym in the sort of smuggling world. And when you hear about who she is, you're like, oh, shit, I've heard of her. You've never met her before, you never dealt with her before, too, but you recognize the sort of... like Raven Lady or something like that, or some nickname that she goes by.
Okay.
So-
Have I heard like things about her that make me not want to mess with her?
I mean, I'm not sure you'd necessarily want to cross her. She does definitely seem like a pretty, she doesn't have any muscle with her, is one thing I'll say. Like, she doesn't seem to have... She's got porters and stuff like that, but she's not supported by any, like, obvious goons.
Okay.
She
All right.
doesn't need it.
So, you all meet up in Palfrey's Keep then. What are you guys planning on doing next? You guys can talk amongst yourselves, and what do you want to do next, guys?
Yeah. If I've heard anything about these giants killing people, I think we should do something about it.
Oh, there is one other thing as well. So by the time you guys meet up as at the end of Fireseek, what you find is that apparently Lord Palfrey was expecting... I kind of got sidetracked, but remember the message that you brought with him? Or you brought with you from Lord Carmen? So Count Palfrey got it, and it seems, and you hear this from his son, because his son just won't shut up. His son says that his father was apparently expecting a retinue of the priests from the Church St. Geig, and apparently they arrived in Thurmaster, but somehow went missing on the road from Thurmaster up to Palfrey's Keep, and that would have been about a week before you guys, before Dorman and Caldor arrived.
Shit. Okay, well...
well, that would have been 3 weeks. No, that's not right. That would have been a couple of days before you guys have finished. We'll say it coincidentally times with... They were supposed to have been here around the end of the month, but it's coming up on the 28th right now. They arrived in Thurmaster, did not arrive in Palfrey's Keep, so they appear to have been missing for 2 days now.
So does Lord Palfrey have like a seneschal or somebody who handles his day-to-day stuff? It sounds like he's got a pretty small retinue.
He does,
Or-
yeah.
So if we wanted to talk to him about and warn him about the mages and clerics going missing and what we know of it, would we talk to him directly or would we talk through somebody?
You could address him directly. Yeah, I mean, I think that when you guys first arrive, you would have had the opportunity. Do you want to try and provide it to him in secret? He is not really keen to talk to you in chambers, the way that Lord Carmen did. But his son, you could definitely feed that information through his son. As much as he berates and belittles his son, he does talk to him on a regular basis.
So maybe what we do, and the group can correct me, but maybe we just tell his son that we have some news about clerics and wizards going missing, and we think it's important enough that his dad knows. Let him talk to his dad and see if that opens up a door for a private console. And we don't need to role play the whole thing probably because we just did that with Carmen.
Yeah. So what I can tell you is what you learn is that, remember how there was I told you there's that church, the cleric of Farlon that went missing, the one who was regularly visited. Apparently, Count Parfrey adored this guy, and he has, for a guy who has lived his entire life in one place, it may seem strange that he is so attached to an old priest of Farlon, but for whatever reason,
someone else.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, like, they from the sounds of things, they were both old men, so it could have been just like, every year Farlon came by, was hosted by at Palfrey's Keep, and they shared the travels of the year, and then he kind of went on his way. The fact that this guy went missing has been a really hard blow to his father, and the fact that he wants to meet with the representatives of the ecclesiastical council from Threshold, it speaks more to his desperation to try and find an answer to why there are mages going missing and clerics going missing, than it is that he's a devout follower of St. Cuthbert.
Okay. Well, we'll tell him what we know, I guess.
Okay.
Am I okay in saying that, guys?
Yeah.
So having heard that, he will want a meeting with you guys. So you can assume that you have had at least an opportunity to ingratiate yourself to him a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have any answers, it's troubling to him. I mean, in the Half-Cut Hills, let's see what's found in there apart from the stone giants. In the Half-Cut Hills, they have goblins in there. They have ogres, wild dogs, and he regularly has his house guard patrol as well too, to keep make sure some of the outlying communities in the region are safe. But they haven't had any. I mean, they don't have any apart from Towster in Thurmaster. There's not really wizards and such out here. But in spite of that, the prospect of something taking these people hits him very, very hard, and he's very, very, very worried about it. He, I think, even will confide in you that he has called them here because he wants to get advice from them on how best to try and rescue this guy.
So do we tell him about the Farlon holy symbol we found?
I think so. Did we give it up, or do we still have it? Like, could we give him this guy's holy symbol?
We would have it. We didn't give it to anybody.
So yeah, it seems like we would, rummage around in the pack and find it and say, hey man, I think this should be yours.
I think it is a very sad, and if you were not empathetic, a pathetic scene of a giant open empty hall where an old man with barely any surviving certainly friends and an old aging staff is broken down and weeping, his sobs echoing through this chamber, seeing proof that his friend seems dead. This is a friend, more than 60 years. These men met every year, and it's the small moment of tenderness you see between him and his son, as his son sort of puts his arm around him, which looks comical with how shriveled and old that Count Parfrey looks, and just how big and strapping his son does. But after his body finally stops convulsing and his son helps him to his feet, he looks up at you with rheumy and red, bloodshot eyes, his face wet still with tears, and he thanks you for it. And did you intend this as a gift for him? Like he can keep this?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, then
we're not doing anything.
Then he'll accept it and be very, very grateful. That day he ends up having to retire, and you don't see him for 2 more days. but then he begins to slowly appear again, and the steam seems to be fully out of his sails by that. So when the news comes that this, news comes from Squire Marlin that the retinue of the Church of St. Cuthbert has arrived in Thurmaster, the news reaches you guys, and he seems a little heartened by it, like he's got a purpose, something he can focus on. And then when the day passes and there's no sign of them, and the next day dawns and midday reaches and there's still no sign of them, he begins to get panicked. And he summons you guys again. And his son is already sort of dressed in armor and seems eager to sort of ride out and find out what's happened. And you walk in sort of mid-argument between the two of them. And as broken or as defeated as the old man may have seemed for a while, he still certainly has the fight in him that once, was likely the fire that drove some kind of mighty warrior. But he reserves that ire and that combat for verbal sparring with his son. And when you guys walk in, he gestures to his son in a way that, you would think that the son was hit with a whip or something. He's chastened into silence so quickly. He asks you guys to ride out. He asks you guys to go and see if you can find what is going on. Now, I say ride, he doesn't have horses. Unfortunately, a lot of Heronshire, there's not a big call for cavalry, and to keep horses in the half-cut hills is not, even the Lord Count Parfrey doesn't have one. But he asked for you lot. You have had success. If this is the same thing, if these have fallen victim to these kidnappers on my very doorstep, I want you to tell me if that's happened.
The guys,
I
think we can do that.
I think we need a local guide.
The son, his ears kind of perk up, and he shoots back at them, and he offers for you to take Valdir with him. If it's those kidnappers, if it's these giants that have been preying, and if those giants, I want to know whether the stone giants, if it's the stone giants, if they are the ones, if they're preying on us, then things have changed, and I need to be made ready for war against them. Now, you guys know, looking at what you've seen over the last month or so, this guy's not going to war with anybody anytime soon. But the effort is still there, and the words are spelled. So, is that sufficient? Will Valdir be a sufficient escort?
Yeah, but that's not the son. That's who I was trying to get, so he could do what he wanted. But that's whatever.
Yeah, no,
he
he's
need a guide.
You
I
guys
didn't really need a guide. It was just an opportunity for the son to step in if he chose to.
No, yeah. If there's a way to, how much do you think that Elanion's been ingratiating himself with the son? He's been here for quite some time.
Because he's been studying almost endlessly.
Yeah, so he's not really. There's not really an opportunity for you to, or an excuse for you to sort of, dressed him up as something else and let him sneak out or anything like that. Yeah, and I mean the others. While I think the son would definitely go along with a plan like that if it was proposed, that Count Parfrey, if he finds out, is going to be very displeased.
Yep.
But
well, and do we have a sense if the son feels like this in general? Maybe he's tried it once or twice before, or something. And the guards would be on lookout for
I can tell you from
dude who we don't recognize.
He definitely sneaks out for patrols and things like that. To give the kid credit, he is not on your level. Like, he is not as capable or seasoned of a person. I think he's stronger than any one of you. And I think, does anyone have an 18 slash strength? I don't think so, right? No, so yeah, then he's definitely stronger than any one of you guys. He is a trained, he definitely is a trained warrior. It's just that he's green. Yeah. And this world is very unforgiving for...
No, what I meant was that, all the guards are going to be on the lookout for, oh, we have to check on Lintern's,
So the guards are in an interesting position. I mean, Count Parfrey is definitely the voice of authority in here. He is also very, very old. And his heir will become Count Parfrey when he dies. So it's hard to, try and serve two masters when one of them is about to shuffle off this mortal coil and the other one's about to become your boss. So you get the sense that with the level of training he's had, he has definitely had an opportunity to get out and try shit more often than, say, if he was someone who was always kept in the castle and never been able to go out and not seen actual combat, he would not have the skills he has.
Okay. That's a good thing. Unless somebody suggests otherwise, I don't think we try to break him out to bring him with us, because that seems a little...
Druin was thinking he's seen people in this place before. In fact, he's been in this place where the sun is and wanting to get out and do something and been held back and stuff. So he calls on his past experience, and then something clicks, and he remembers how he had to deal with his father, and so he pulls the son aside and just kind of talks him through how it's important that he stays respectful and also is here as seen as the strength with the guards when we're out doing the thing with the giants, because if giants circle around, the keep and or third master are in danger, and he's going to have that role ready to go and kind of whatever, something like that, and comes up with this really eloquent way of saying it, and it's total fluke because he's really not that good at etiquette.
Yeah.
In fact, this is my first etiquette success since I started this character.
Nice. You've had it for so long too. Etiquette. Okay, then, I think that with your success, I think it's fallen on his, and he'll definitely try and he will take your advice and try and find a way to frame what he desires and in a way that his father would find acceptable. So he's not going to keep nagging you and bugging you to go out. And so I think with you guys all saddling up, you guys getting some gear. Dave, give us one more weather check there, weatherman. Let's see how it goes. It's a clear sky, guys. It's cold. I think if you guys do not have it on your character sheet, you guys have all been equipped with cold weather gear by this point too, so you're not going to be suffering the effect of the weather. But for the first time in quite some time, you guys set out with a task and begin heading down the road through the Half-Cut Hills towards Thurmaster. And I think we'll end our session there, guys. We'll pick up on Wednesday with you guys riding down. We've got some training done. We've got some more training to go. But I'll get you pictures of all the new characters as well, too, so you guys can get an idea of who these characters are, what they look like. Hobbs, did you finish filling out your spell book?
I think so.
Awesome.
I still have a bunch of pages left, but...
Cool. What new spells did you learn?
A lot. I failed some, too.
Okay.
Dispel Magic, Fireball, Flame Arrow, Charm Person, Chill Touch, and Find Familiar.
Nice. Very nice. I think you would have had time to cast Find Familiar if you choose to as well.
Yeah, maybe some snowy animal.
Cool.
1,000 gold pieces.
Ooh, flying snowy owlbear. Boom.
I have are expensive.
All right, so then, guys, that will be the end of the session. I know this is yet another sort of transition training thing, too, but that was a lot of fun. And I am looking forward to seeing what trouble you guys get up to in on the road back to Thurmaster. So then, let's see here. Doesn't get a familiar... Oh, is going to get one. Okay, nice.
I do have 1,000 gold pieces, so if you want to think about that or roll it or whatever.
Go for it. Get a familiar. Be the first one to do it.
Is that what it costs? Is 1,000 gold to summon a familiar? Ooh, that is not cheap.
But it's got some really good bonuses, like you get the animal senses.
Pretty awesome. So
Isn't there
then...
some kind of a penalty or something when the animal dies, though?
Yeah, if it dies, you lose a point of con, and you have to roll or not die. You have to roll a system shock.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, I had a familiar with one of my 2E mages, and I was like paranoid it was gonna die.
Oh god. All right. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for yet another session of what do you call it? It's worth my time to search. Oh, hey Fred, what's shaking? Yeah, Hobbs' content is terrific. Absolutely. Yeah. He has some great stuff on both on the Twitch and available. And his, I mean, he had a recent podcast. And what a guest! Holy smokes. I tell you, I could never get enough of hearing that guy's voice.
I believe that.
Very true. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 59 of our ongoing Night Below campaign. Congratulations to everyone who did manage to get a level today. I think, guys, because of... Let's see here. I don't think anyone spent any astonishing fortune, right? Did we roll the dice at all tonight, apart from learning spells? I don't think so. Okay, and you did effectively get a new hex in it, too. So I'll give you guys an extra... We'll say that you're walking away with 150 XP each tonight.
Yeah, baby.
Bergour, don't forget your 300 from the...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for your donation as well, too.
Yeah, that's what put me over.
Oh, nice. So you're ready to go to 7 now?
No, I just did.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's what put me over from... Because I was almost ready for 7, and then the
right,
300
right.
was what put me over.
Okay. Nice.
From my donation, my charitable donation.
Yeah.
To buy swords and armor and all sorts of, build a palisade or whatever.
So for those listening at home, as is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the campaign, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of this video, or you can shoot me a tweet at dungeonmusings@gmail. No, Dungeon Musings on Twitter. dungeonmusings@gmail.com is my email address. You can reach me there too. And in the description of this video, there is a link to the Dungeon Musings Discord server. You're welcome to join us there. We have channels dedicated to this campaign, every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a ton of other cool stuff. If you enjoyed the session, be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon to be notified for when we go live for next time. We go live 4 times a week, and sometimes 5 when we have a special one-shot. In addition, if you did like the session, I'd appreciate it if you can click on like. That helps us with the magic behind the scenes of YouTube. And to date, those of you who have been liking and watching have helped us supply all of our players with copies of the Player's Handbook. The 89 version. So thank you so much for watching as well. Thank you for those of who support us on Patreon as well too. You will also find a link in the description of this video to the something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on our channel. It benefits SOS Children's Villages International, a really awesome organization active in over 130 countries that provides benefits and supportive, stable living environments for over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. To date, we've raised over $6,000 or $7,000 for I can't remember what the original thing was, but right now, from now until September 1st, 2020, we are having our annual charity raffle, and we've already raised more than half of what we were shooting for. We're over $1,000. For every $25 Canadian that's donated, you get one chance to win one of our many raffle prizes, including the grand prize, which is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's beautiful Eberron Rising from the Last War box set. It's the gold edition. That is my copy up there. The copy of the winner of the raffle will be walking away with a copy that's already packaged up and still the same way that Beetle and Grimm sent it to us. So it's a gorgeous product and a terrific prize. In addition, if you don't win that, you still have a chance of winning a bunch of other cool prizes, including 2 copies of the Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea core rulebook, a copy of the Monsters Know What They're Doing, a copy of a very awesome chainmail dice bag made by our very own Dave, some copies of the Hobbs's cool OSR zines, and some product from our Redbubble shop. So you can get t-shirts and posters, and there's some acrylic prints or mugs, or you'll get to decide. Whoever the winner is will get to decide what they actually get and have it sent to them. Best of all donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. So every $25 that you donate gives you one chance to win one of those awesome gaming prizes, and it all goes to help out some kids who could really use the help. The last thing I'll say, well, I guess the second last. The penultimate thing I'll say is that if you are joining us from Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood, I'd ask you please click on like to be sure to never miss an episode of Hobbs' streams. And if you did really like the episode, consider clicking on subscribe to help Hobbs create some of this awesome content. His participation in our games, as well as all the cool stuff that he makes himself, is all thanks in part, because Hobbs won't put up with us if he's not paid. Come on. You think he does this shit for free? I'm kidding, but it does genuinely help Hobbs create some really awesome content, including all the different podcasts he's involved with, Hex Talk, Hobbs and Friends of the and Random Screed. So definitely consider that as well. Last but not least, speaking of Hobbs and the rest of the players, I want to give a big thank you to the players who joined me tonight. So, Jeffrey, Arlen, Hobbs, John, and Dave, thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. Congratulations for those of you who, I think almost everyone got a new level except for Elanion. So congratulations on your new spells, Elanion. And
yeah, I'm excited again.
Nice. New stuff, new toys.
Fireball?
Yeah.
What did you say in the Discord about your character? He's like the weakest mage ever.
Weakest 5th level mage ever.
Except that you have
now
fireball.
I have fireball. I didn't at the time of that posting.
Oh, okay.
So, for those listening at home, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed. We'll see you next time with our big 6-0. The 60th episode will be on Wednesday. Until we see you then, if you are listening to us either live or otherwise during the pandemic, we do hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off of the travails of the world and think about the trouble that our heroes are getting themselves into. And until we see you again, happy gaming.